Chapter 2266. No matter how they looked at it, the other party did not look like a brat. He was a peerless demon king. Now, the Zhao family had not even made a move. Just the other party alone had killed 3 mighty figures and more than 20 kings with a raise of his hand. Such means could be said to be heaven-defying. They had never seen such a thing before. Therefore, these people felt a chill in their hearts, and their expressions were extremely ugly. After Lin Xian succeeded, he looked at the other party and sneered. Not making a move? Then it's my turn. In the next moment, he turned into a stream of light and quickly rushed forward. Damn it, kill him. Kill him with all your might. The black-robed elder's pupils constricted. He did not expect the other party to take the initiative to attack. He did not dare to hold back anymore. The people behind him attacked crazily. At the same time, he also roared angrily, and majestic energy surged out of his body. To be honest, no matter how powerful the other party was, they had 3 elite mighty figures this time. As long as the 3 of them attacked with all their might, they could definitely suppress the other party. Boom! The black-robed elder took the lead and stretched out his palm. Buzz! In the sky, a pitch-black palm pressed down, and the entire sky turned into night. You're just a firefly. How dare you compete with the sun and moon? Lin Xian sneered and punched out. The terrifying fist carried black flames that filled the sky and blasted out fiercely. Boom! The two collided, and thunderous sounds echoed in the sky as terrifying energy erupted. An extremely powerful energy swept out in all directions. Countless cracks appeared in the surrounding space as the terrifying energy swept down. The warriors in Stellar Sky City trembled when they felt the impact of this energy. The weaker ones directly knelt on the ground. Damn it! However, amidst the violent energy, there was a crazy roar. The black-robed elder kept retreating, stepping on the void. His palm directly exploded. Blood dyed the void red. Then Lin Xian attacked again. Kid, you're courting death. Another elite roared. This was a middle-aged man. He held a red longsword in his hand and quickly charged over. Buzz! The longsword swept across, and the red sword light swept across the sky as if it was divine red. Boom! Lin Xian's palm slammed into the sword chi that filled the sky, causing a resplendent light to erupt. A terrifying voice tore through the void. After the deafening explosion, Lin Xian's palm didn't change at all. It was still grabbing forward in an overwhelming manner. On the other side, the middle-aged man was sent flying while vomiting blood. You want to capture me with just the 2 of you? He really overestimated himself. Lin Xian sneered as he looked ahead. Brat, don't be so arrogant. At this moment, another earth-shattering roar was heard. The purple light shot straight into the clouds, drowning out the entire world. Then, a figure appeared. This was a young man. His eyes were incomparably cold, but no one dared to underestimate him. This was not a young man, but an old monster that had lived for more than 1,000 years. He was an elite almighty, and he was the strongest among the people who came this time. The purple-robed ancestor was actually him. Seeing this purple-clothed youth walk out, many people exclaimed in surprise. The elders of the Zhao family also frowned, because the purple-robed ancestor was indeed not simple. His strength was incomparably terrifying. Therefore, for a moment, they were a little worried. They didn't know if Lin Xian could withstand it. Indeed, the purple-robed ancestor was very powerful. He was even more powerful than the previous 2 elite almighties. His roar shattered the mountains and rivers. Boom! A large purple hand reached out to grab him. Heaven and earth instantly split open, and a terrifying aura pressed down below. The kings of Stellar Sky City trembled and couldn't stand at all. He had some strength, but it wasn't enough. Lin Xian nodded slightly, but his eyes were full of disdain. How dare an elite almighty behave so atrociously in front of him? In the next moment, he also stretched out his palm. Endless aura revolved around his palm. One after another, stars began to appear in the sky. The astral palm was an ultimate technique used by an almighty of the Qiyu family. However, at this moment, when Lin Xian used the Great Dragon Sword Soul, its power was hundreds of times more terrifying. When he stretched out his palm, heaven and earth were completely covered. Only the stars could be seen rotating one after another. It was as if the real universe had descended into the human world. Heavens, what kind of technique was this? Wasn't the astral palm an ultimate technique of the Chiyu family? How did this kid know it? Many people exclaimed. The people of the Chiyu family went crazy. Damn it. The astral palm was indeed their family's ultimate technique, and many people had practiced it before. However, they couldn't hit the opponent's terrifying power at all. More importantly, how did the other party do it? However, they didn't have time to think about it anymore. Wretched cries rang out in the sky. Those spinning stars were releasing a terrifying pressure that enveloped the entire world. In the blink of an eye, the bodies of many martial artists were crushed into a bloody mist by these stars and directly exploded. Boom, boom. In an instant, at least 30 kings were killed. Moreover, there were even more screams. This time, not only the Chiyu family, but even the warriors of the other 3 families were affected. Damn it, impossible! How could he be so powerful? Countless people screamed crazily, and the faces of the elite almighties became extremely ugly. In an instant, more than half of the people they brought were dead. Moreover, it was still going on. It wouldn't be long before all of them were killed. This made their hearts bleed in disbelief. These were all the elites of their families. They were the hope of their family's future. But now they were all killed. Ugh. A red star descended, bringing with it endless flames as it flew towards the black-clothed old man. The black-robed elder roared crazily and slammed his palms continuously. Ghost claws tore through the void and attacked fiercely. However, it was useless. The red star was like a sun, burning fiercely and directly enveloping the black-robed elder. Then it was completely refined. What? Even the elite almighties were killed. The death of the black-robed elder had a huge impact on them because he was an elite lord. He was definitely a peerless powerhouse with unimaginable strength. But now he had been killed like a blade of grass. Who was the other party? They didn't dare to think. Therefore, in the next moment, those who were still alive screamed crazily. Run, run. At this moment, revenge and the mission of their families were all thrown away. Saving their lives was the most important thing. However, could they escape? The area within a radius of 10,000 miles was completely enveloped by Lin Xian's astral palm, forming a heaven and earth cage. They couldn't escape at all. Therefore, the ordinary kings were all killed very quickly. The almighties couldn't survive at all. Now, only 5 elite almighties were left. They were from the 4 great families, and 2 of them were from the Chiyu family. Chapter 2267. Now, there were only 5 elite almighties left. They were from the 4 major families, and 2 of them were from the Red Moon family. The other 3 were from the 3 major families. At this moment, the 5 of them were gathered together, and their expressions were extremely ferocious. They were covered in blood, both their own and their subordinates. Damn it, the 5 of us should join forces and attack in the same direction. I don't believe that he can fight against the 5 of us. The purple-robed ancestor roared crazily. Although he had delicate features, his small face was ferocious like a demon at this moment. Purple extreme demonic art. The purple-robed patriarch used his most powerful technique as soon as he stepped forward. The other 4 elite almighties also used their best ultimate skills, not daring to hold back at all. Heavenly Rainbow Sword. The middle-aged man waved the long sword in his hand and released terrifying sword lights one after another. Sky Demon Fist. The demon roared. Immovable Mountain. Terrifying divine abilities burst forth, and the crazy energy between heaven and earth swept towards the starry sky. Lin Xian looked at this scene and sneered disdainfully. Now it was over. Destroying the stars. Boom, boom, boom. As his voice fell, the stars in the sky exploded in his palm. The entire universe turned into chaos. The space within a radius of 10,000 miles was completely torn apart, and an endless black hole appeared. As for the 5 almighties, they were completely drowned by this violent energy. Boom, boom, boom. The violent energy between the heavens and the earth lasted for an incense stick's worth of time before gradually dissipating. In Tianxing City, All the warriors were lying on the ground, their faces pale. When the energy dissipated, they stood up from the ground and looked at the sky in shock. In fact, they had already thought of this. With such violent energy, it was impossible for the five Almighties to survive. However, they still had to verify their thoughts. Sure enough, when they looked up at the sky, the terrifying spatial cracks in the sky had already healed. However, the figures of the five Almighties had already disappeared. Only clouds of blood mist were left in the sky, turning into a rain of blood that fell in Tianxing City. Looking at this scene, everyone was stunned. Because at this moment, their feelings could not be described with words. The four major families, hundreds of kings, and so many elite Almighties were all killed in an instant. This scene was like a legend, and they could not believe it. Lin Xian waved his sleeve and landed again, returning to Tianxing City. Countless people looked at Lin Xian with fear in their eyes. The young people of the Zhao family also felt their scalps tingle. The elders of the Zhao family became extremely respectful. Among them, the Grand Elder hurriedly walked over. Their attitude towards Lin Xian was completely different. Before, they were all respectful of Lin Xian, but that was because of Murong Qingqing. However, things were different now. The strength that Lin Xian had displayed had definitely surpassed that of an elite mighty being. At the very least, he was at the pinnacle of the Almighties. Such strength was incomparably terrifying and worthy of their respect. The group once again, the group. Murong Qingqing and Lin Xian also made their intentions clear. You want to know the reason? Almighties. Hearing this, the first elder narrowed his eyes. Zhao Zhirua's eyes also flickered. This beast tide is indeed a little strange, but I really don't know the exact reason. The Grand Elder shook his head. You don't know? Seeing this scene, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing were a little disappointed. They thought that with the status of the Zhao family, they should know something special. They did not expect that they did not know either. Then, the Grand Elder left. Zhao Zhirua also left, but before she left, she said, Junior Sister Qingqing, don't be anxious. I'll help you ask around. Sure enough, half a day later, Zhao Zhirua returned again. She said, My grandfather wants to see you. Your grandfather? Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing looked at each other. Then Lin Xian asked, Is it a clue about the beast tide? You'll know when you get there. Zhao Zhirua smiled mysteriously. Then Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing followed Zhao Zhirua and left the pavilion, walking towards the depths of the Zhao family. The entire Zhao family was very large, so they did not reach their destination after walking for half a day. However, Lin Xian realized that the surroundings had already changed. The Zhao family in front of him was dotted with palaces and pavilions, as if it was a palace. Behind them, there were very few sights. There were forests, mountains, waterfalls, and running water everywhere, as if it was a paradise. Not only that, he also realized that the spirit energy here far exceeded that of the outside world. Compared to the spirit energy outside the Zhao family, it was denser. There were even some spirit beasts around at any time. They were all cute and harmless. The little furball in Zhao Zhirua's arms was also whimpering. However, at this moment, Little White also came out of the black earth and jumped onto Lin Xian's shoulder. It looked around with its big black eyes. Obviously, this little guy had smelled some spirit fruit. Hey, you have a little white ball too. Zhao Zhirua turned her head and exclaimed when she saw Little White on Lin Xian's shoulder. It looked similar to Snowball in her arms, except that one was a monkey and the other was a lion. Come here, I'll give you a spirit fruit to eat. Zhao Zhirua was very experienced in raising pets, so she flipped her palm and a red fruit appeared in her hand. When Little White saw it, it flew over with a whoosh. It jumped onto Zhao Zhirua's shoulder, hugged the spirit fruit, and chewed happily. Zhao Zhirua looked at it and liked it very much. However, at this moment, she realized that something was wrong. That was because the little lion in his arms actually began to tremble slightly. Its black eyes looked at Little White with a trace of fear. What's going on? Zhao Zhirua was extremely surprised. The little lion in her arms had a very strong bloodline power. It was born as a one-star king. In the future, it might even become a peerless demon king. Therefore, she liked it very much. She even took care of it personally. But now, this little lion with the potential of a peerless demon king was actually trembling. It was afraid of this monkey. Thinking of this, Zhao Zhihua gasped. What kind of background does this monkey have? Could it be even more terrifying than the little lion in my arms? She didn't know, but her beautiful eyes were fixed on the little white monkey. Little White hugged the spirit fruit, glanced at the little lion, and then made a face. Then, with a swoosh, it returned to Lin Xian's side. So fast. Zhao Zhihua was surprised that she could not catch the other party's trajectory. A mutant of heaven and earth. This was definitely a very terrifying mutant of heaven and earth. She did not expect that not only was Lin Xian powerful, but he also had such a terrifying pet. Little guy, long time no see. At the side, Murong Qingqing was also happy. She picked up Little White from Lin Xian's shoulder, hugged it in her arms, and kept rubbing it. Whoa. The little white monkey looked like it was enjoying itself. Murong Qingqing was happy to see it. She followed Zhao Zhihua and hugged Little White in her arms. The three of them chatted and laughed as they walked for a while. Buzz. Chapter 2268. Suddenly, two silhouettes flickered and appeared. They were wearing bronze masks and carrying two sharp swords on their backs. Their expressions were extremely cold. Their eyes, in particular, were emotionless. Zhao Zhihua stopped in her tracks as soon as the two figures appeared. Behind her, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing also looked solemn. They could sense that the two people in front of them were definitely experts. Seniors, I'm here on my grandfather's orders. These two are my friends. My grandfather wants to see them. This is a token. Zhao Zhihua took out her family's token as she spoke. In front of her, one of the masked men took the token and looked at it carefully. Then, he nodded and returned the token to Zhao Zhihua. Then, the two figures flashed and disappeared into the void. The leaves on both sides rustled, and birds chirped. It was very ethereal. It was as if the appearance of the two masked men was a dream. Let's go. My grandfather is right in front. However, the two of you have to follow me closely. Follow my footsteps. Don't make a single mistake. There's a formation inside. If you take the wrong step, it'll be very dangerous. Okay, Murong Qingqing smiled. Lin Xian also nodded. Then he looked around. Indeed, with his knowledge of formations, he discovered that there was an extremely terrifying formation in front of him. Although there was no light, it was extremely dangerous. There was only one way out. Next, Zhao Zhihua led the way. She did not walk in a straight line, but in all kinds of curves. Sometimes she even went backwards. However, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing knew that they were walking on the only way out of the formation. If they did not follow this path, they would immediately activate the terrifying killing formation under their feet. It took them an hour to walk through the formation. Finally, Zhao Zhihua heaved a sigh of relief. All right, there's no danger ahead. Let's speed up. In front of them was no longer a forest, but a grassland. There was even the sound of flowing water in the distance because there was a waterfall in the distance. On the opposite side of the waterfall was a huge lake that was embedded in the ground like an emerald gem. Beside the lake, there was a figure. However, soon, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing were stunned. That was because they thought they would meet an old man with the demeanor of an immortal. However, the scene in front of them was completely out of their expectations. The figure in front of them was indeed an old man. However, he was dressed casually. He wore cotton clothes and a bamboo hat on his head. At this moment, he was holding a hoe and waving it in front of him. Moreover, it wasn't some terrifying divine ability. It was very ordinary, just like a farmer plowing the land. His trousers were rolled up, and the sweat on his face kept dripping to the ground. If it had not been Zhao Zhihua who had brought them here, if it had not been for the terrifying guards and the terrifying killing array, then they simply didn't believe that the old man in front of them was the old master of the Zhao family. That was because he was too ordinary. Such people could be seen everywhere in the countries of ordinary people. However, Zhao Zhihua was not surprised. With a smile on her face, she ran over. "Grandpa, I've invited him," Zhao Zhihua said softly. The old man stopped waving his hoe, stood up, and wiped his sweat. Then he turned his head to look at Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing. "Please wait for a moment. I still have a little more to finish." "We're not in a hurry, old master." Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing also walked up and watched from the side. Murong Qingqing blinked curiously. Lin Xian glanced at it and was extremely surprised. That was immortal grain rice. Lin Xian was too surprised. That was a type of rice, which was also an ordinary food. The rice in front of them was not ordinary. It was known as an ancient variant. That was because it contained pure spiritual energy when it was planted. It could be said that it was the same as spirit herbs and spirit fruits. However, it was much more effective than ordinary spirit fruits. Moreover, it could be eaten as a meal. If one ate it from a young age, the foundation and physique would be unimaginable. He did not expect the old man of the Zhao family to be planting such a thing. Hearing Lin Xian's words, old Master Zhao raised his head again with a hint of surprise in his eyes. "You know about this?" He had read about it in books before, but this was the first time he had seen it with his own eyes. "Can you give me a few stalks, old master?" Lin Xian asked. Old Master Zhao laughed when he heard that. "All right, it's fate that we meet. I'll give you a few stalks." Lin Xian picked 10 stalks, then waved his hand and kept them. He cupped his fists and smiled, thanking the old man for his help. Next, old Master Zhao continued to work on the unfinished ones. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing watched from the side. Gradually, the two of them became serious again. That was because they realized that old Master Zhao's every action was very ordinary, but there was an inexplicable charm to it. Returning to simplicity. The two of them were shocked. Old Master Zhao was definitely a terrifying expert, because there were very few people who could do that. After some time, old Master Zhao was finally done with his work. He put the hoe in his hand aside, took off the bamboo hat on his head, and said with a smile, "Please take a seat." The few of them sat by the old lake. At that moment, the surface of the lake was sparkling. A gentle breeze blew, and it was very cool. "I've heard from Zhihua why you're here." The beast tide had started a year and a half ago. It had been intermittent, and it would come once every few months. However, there hasn't been a large-scale beast horde in Qianshan region yet. However, this matter has attracted the attention of all parties. We've investigated it. However, due to the lack of clues, we didn't find anything. However, after our analysis, this beast horde is indeed not ordinary. Moreover, the target of this beast horde is very obvious. They're all heading for the main cities. Among them, 4 main cities, including Wanrun City, were attacked by the beast horde. The Ninely dynasty also attached great importance to this matter and sent a large number of experts to help suppress the beast horde. They even caught a few peerless monster kings and wanted to search their souls. They found useful information. Unfortunately, after those peerless monster kings were caught, they immediately self-destructed and even sacrificed a few peerless mighty figures. It's very crazy. Therefore, we can't get any useful information at all. However, if you really want to know something, you can go to Qianshan City. That's also a main city. Maybe you can find some information there. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing's eyes flickered when they heard that. They didn't expect it to be like this. Although they didn't get any exact information, they were sure that someone was secretly manipulating it. The self-destruction of the peerless monster kings was obviously to hide the information. It seems that the monster clans are making a big move recently. Moreover, they're attacking main cities. Their purpose is very obvious. Since they didn't get any information, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing didn't stay any longer. They stood up. Sorry to disturb you, old master. Then, Zhao Zhirua left again with Murong Qingqing and Lin Xian. Chapter 2269. At this moment, although he was still wearing plain clothes, he was definitely not ordinary. The aura on his body was like a peerless divine sword, revealing its sharpness. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In front of him, ripples suddenly appeared on the huge lake, rippling out in circles. Following that, countless water pillars rushed up, and a huge monster slowly appeared under the water. Water splashed all over the sky, and under the sunlight, it shone with a crystal-clear light. A black shadow that was like a small mountain appeared in front of Old Master Zhao. It was a turtle, a black turtle. Its body was as big as a small black mountain. Its head was incomparably ferocious, and it was as big as a house. On its back was a black turtle shell with mysterious patterns on it. Old man, you're dishonest. How dare you leak our information? The black turtle spoke in human language, and there was a hint of fierceness in its eyes. Old Master Zhao snorted coldly, but he was not afraid. A sharp light flickered in his eyes, and his cold voice sounded. Leak information? What did I leak? From the beginning to the end, I didn't say anything, right? Cunning human. The black turtle slowly bent down, and its huge head came in front of Old Master Zhao. The coldness in its eyes was like 10,000-year-old ice. Then what about now? Have you thought it through? This is an important matter, and I need to think it through carefully. If there's nothing, don't come out. Old Master Zhao said coldly with his hands behind his back. In front, the black turtle heard this and snorted coldly. However, its huge body slowly descended and disappeared into the water. Countless waves rolled, but with the disappearance of the black turtle, the entire lake returned to calm. It was as if nothing had happened. Old Master, something bad has happened. In the Qiyu family, a figure hurriedly sent a report. What happened? He was flustered. The warriors of the Qiyu family were very confused. The patriarch of the Qiyu family also frowned. This time, he had sent a large number of experts, and he had joined forces with the other 3 families. It could be said that it was foolproof. Even if the Zhao family made a move, they would be able to resist. Therefore, during this period he had been patiently waiting for news. At that moment, he frowned when he saw how flustered his subordinates were. What have I always taught you? You have to be calm in the face of trouble. No matter what, my Scarlet Moon clan is still a big clan. Don't you know the rules of the clan? Hearing this, the subordinate broke out in cold sweat. Yes, Patriarch, I know I was wrong. The Red Moon Patriarch nodded slightly, then took a sip of spirit tea and asked indifferently, what happened? Did you catch that brat? All he had to do was push him back. No, that's not it. The people we sent were all annihilated. The 4 great clans were all annihilated. Clang. Hearing this, the Scarlet Moon Patriarch's body stiffened, and the smile on his face froze. The spirit tea in his hand fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. The surrounding people were also stunned. After a long time, they finally regained their senses. The Chiyu clan member stood up and said coldly, "Damn it, what did you say?" "Say it again." This voice was like thunder, piercing through the void. The entire house even exploded, and a terrifying black hole appeared in the sky. The subordinate trembled in fear and directly knelt on the ground. "Patriarch, all our martial artists were annihilated. None of them came back alive." How was that possible? When the surrounding people of the Scarlet Moon clan heard this, they were all stunned and could not believe it. The Scarlet Moon Patriarch's face was also ugly. To be honest, he would not believe it even if he was beaten to death. This time, he had sent nearly 100 martial artists. Moreover, he had joined forces with the other 3 great clans. With such a lineup, the Zhao family would not be able to annihilate them. Damn it, who was the one who did it? Could it be that there was a terrifying force behind that brat? It was not anyone else, nor was it the Zhao family. It was that brat who did it himself. He did it himself. Hearing this, everyone almost bit off their tongues. What a joke! A brat annihilated hundreds of kings with a raise of his hand? Damn it, do you think I'm an idiot? The Scarlet Moon Patriarch was furious. He slapped his subordinate to the ground, causing the subordinate to vomit blood and lie on the ground. He struggled to say, "Patriarch, it's true." Everyone in Stellar Sky City saw it. When these words came out, everyone was dumbfounded. Everyone in the city saw it. There was no way it could be fake. However, they still could not believe it. Could it be that the brat was a peerless mighty figure? A peerless mighty figure in his 20s. Heavens, who exactly was that person? They did not dare to imagine. At that moment, an old man next to him frowned. "He's so young and so mysterious. That brat is very suspicious." "Third Elder, what are you trying to say?" The Scarlet Moon Patriarch asked. "Patriarch, have you forgotten? There was news from the prince's residence that a young demon king came from the Tai dynasty. He's the one who's wanted by the Tai dynasty. It's been confirmed that he's in the 9 Li dynasty. Do you think it's that brat? Is there a portrait of him?" The Scarlet Moon Patriarch took a deep breath. With this reminder, he really did remember. Not long ago, the Tai dynasty had joined forces with the 9 Li dynasty and released a notice nationwide. The Scarlet Moon Patriarch naturally received the notice. However, they did not take it to heart at all, and they did not intend to interfere. After all, it was rumored that he was a very terrifying person. He was able to escape from the Tai dynasty alone. One could imagine how terrifying he was. But now, the Third Elder's words made him suspicious. It might be that brat in front of him. Yes. The Third Elder raised his hand and cast a light screen. Then, a figure appeared in the void. That was the wanted person. In the sky, there was a 3-dimensional image of a handsome young man. He didn't look very old, probably in his 20s. "Is that the person?" The Scarlet Moon Patriarch asked coldly. The subordinate who was beaten to the ground raised his head and looked at the void. Then he trembled. "That's right. It's him." "What? It's really him?" Hearing this, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Those elders were extremely shocked. The Scarlet Moon Patriarch's pupils constricted. They did not expect that they had provoked such a terrifying demon king. But soon, a sinister smile appeared on his face. So what if that brat is strong? This time, the Tai dynasty had sent a large number of peerless powerhouses to hunt that brat down. Moreover, it was said that those who reported the news would be rewarded handsomely. It seems that we don't have to do anything to kill that brat. That's right. The surrounding elders all sneered malevolently. No matter how strong a person was, it was impossible for him to go against an entire dynasty. In their opinion, that brat would definitely die. Men, quickly send a message to the 6th prince. Tell him that we've found the murderer. Chapter 2270. Yes. A few subordinates hurried to do it. However, at this moment, the Chiyu clan spoke again. "Men, send someone to follow that kid. Don't show yourself. Just follow him secretly. Don't let that kid escape. Looking at the departing figures of his subordinates, the Chiyu clan's leader smirked. This is what you get for going against my Chiyu clan. And that Zhao family, let's see how you deal with them this time. One could smell the fragrance of roasted dynasty. Meat. You guys have good taste. In this city, there was a manor that was extremely quiet. Its meat is very fresh and contains powerful energy. Martial artists in battle armor descended from the sky. A 6-star demon king. Their expressions were solemn as they walked over quickly. And Murong Qingqing were also surprised. The three martial artists knelt on one knee, extraordinary origins. In front of them, a valiant middle-aged man didn't say anything and directly tore when he heard the voice. He opened his eyes. Damn, his gaze was sharp like a blade. Soon, it was General the dark red dragon let out a hearty laugh. Kid's whereabouts? The little white monkey was also very curious and tore off a piece to eat. Sky Star City. Its big eyes narrowed into crescents. Is the news reliable? Lin Xian directly bought the entire Golden Xianshan region. This scene shocked the surrounding people. It said that the kid had a conflict with the Chiyu clan and even crippled their young master. It was definitely expensive. Hundreds of kings, most people but they were only by a small piece. Only then did they discover the kid's identity. Were definitely rich. Very good. And they were rich to an unimaginable extent. Since that's the case, 6-star demon king was indeed expensive, men over and but Lin Xian didn't care about such a small amount of money. Inform the people from hell to take action. Murong Qingqing looked at the shop on the other side by the time we arrived. Beautiful eyes shining. Yes, I'll do it now. The group of people walked over. 3 figures soared into the sky. The dark red dragon directly lifted the house-sized golden roasted meat with its 2 dragon claws be able to escape from it as it walked. Sky Star City white monkey directly lay on the roasted meat. Since they couldn't get any news here, although it usually loved and Murong Qingqing decided to go to Qianshan City to take a look. Meat. However, the shop in front was also doing very well. Play here for 2 days, at the layer of white sky-like things. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing felt that the others were curious. Wouldn't take too much time. Shop owner, so they agreed. Give us an introduction. On this day, the 3 of them went out of the Zhao family together. A middle-aged woman walked out. Young Master Lin, she looked at them and knew that they were of noble status. Our Sky Star City is so still she carefully introduced them. The snacks here are delicious. This is called Golden Wind. Let me take you to have a taste. It is made by mixing 13 types of spirit and was divided and adding many regions. Spirit liquid. If Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing were left alone, they might not be able to find it. 500-year-old and 1,000 familiar with the road and soon arrived. Naturally, the streets ahead were bustling with noise and excitement. Herbs were grown. There were many martial artists from low to high. Moreover, all of them looked very excited and happy. They were shocking. The ordinary people couldn't afford it. Lin Xian, after all, 13 types of 1,000-year-old spirit herbs were absolutely looking at the sea of people in front of her. Lin Xian waved his hand and ordered 5 bowls of 1,000-year-old spirit herbs. That was natural. As soon as he said that, the food here was surrounding delicious. People exclaimed. Look, there are quite a few kings and even almighties among these martial artists. He doesn't even bother to bargain. They were all regulars here. One had to know that people like them only led the way while 100-year-old spirit herb followed behind. Even the mighty ones would only buy a 500-year-old spirit herb. To be honest, these people are one of them had been cultivating in the sacred ground while the other had been even the mighty ones wouldn't dare to spend like that. It could be said that they rarely had the time to visit the city. Lin Xian's hands not to mention far beyond their imagination. Basically, apart from medicinal pills, Lin Xian only ate spirit fruits. Damn, it smells so good. I can smell it. The dark red dragon came out of the black earth and looked around while drooling. The little white monkey was also mumbling. He looked at the spirit fruit in his hand and threw it away. He looked around curiously with his big eyes. Damn, I want to eat this. The dark red dragon stared at a golden bird and couldn't move. That bird was as big as a house and was completely golden. It was currently being roasted on a huge fire rack. Buying 5 bowls was not a problem at all. Soon, each person had a bowl, and they ate with relish. Just like that, they ate as they walked. The surrounding people were amazed. However, they also knew that the identities of the people in front of them were not ordinary. Zhao Zhuo was the daughter of the Zhao family, and they knew this young man. Not long ago, he killed the powerhouses of the 4 major families with a slap. He was definitely a peerless genius. It was not surprising that such a person would have such wealth. Chapter 2271. Lin Xian and the others ate and drank crazily along the way. However, at that moment, they stopped in their tracks. A hint of doubt appeared in their eyes. That was because many people had gathered in front of them, and there seemed to be some noise coming from them. Among them, a sharp voice pierced through the void. "Damn it! How dare you curse me? I'll tear your mouth apart." What happened? They were curious and decided to go and take a look. Thus, they walked over. Soon, they discovered that there was an argument in front of them. One of the parties was an old man in a green robe who had the demeanor of a transcendent being. The other party was a sturdy middle-aged woman who was dressed very luxuriously. Moreover, the clothes she wore were even more dazzling. Just by looking at the necklace and ring, one could tell that they were extraordinary treasures. Obviously, she was a rich and powerful person. At that moment, the middle-aged woman who was as strong as a bear had her hands on her hips. Her eyes were filled with ferocity as she stared at the transcendent old man in front of her. "You're courting death, you bastard. How dare you say that I can't find a cultivation partner? Are you blind? I'm as beautiful as a fairy. How can I not find a cultivation partner? Damned liar, how dare you say that you can predict the world? Hurry up and return the money." The woman's voice was filled with endless power, causing the people around her to tremble. Obviously, she was an expert. On the other side, the transcendent old man looked helpless. He was holding a yellowed canvas in his hand. There were a few words written on it. "Immortal guides the way." He shook his head and sighed. "The heavenly secrets have already been revealed to you. How can I ask you to return the money? No. I'm risking the heavenly tribulation to reveal the secret to you. I have to collect some compensation. Old man, you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit? Then don't blame me for being rude." The middle-aged woman snorted coldly. She reached out her hand and grabbed in front of her as if she wanted to grab the transcendent old man. Bush, bush. However, she missed. The old man's body disappeared on the spot. When he reappeared, he was already on the other side. However, he was obviously very displeased. The old man shook his head and sighed. Oh, it's alright, I'll take it that I'm unlucky. I don't want to fight you. So, I'll return the payment to you. Don't ask me for help if anything happens in the future. As he spoke, he waved his sleeve and threw a supreme-grade substandard divine crystal. Liar! Don't let me see you. Otherwise, I'll show you. The middle-aged woman grabbed the top-grade substandard divine crystal on the ground and left in a huff. When the surrounding people saw this scene, they wanted to laugh, but they didn't dare to. However, after the middle-aged woman to Lince, was there even a need to calculate? She was clearly a tigress. Who would dare to dual cultivate with such a person? House 2? A of the of course softs of twos B to this old man even claimed to be an immortal guiding the way. Why do I feel like he's a fraud? Initially, Lousy was fine with it, but when he heard the word liar, he was so angry that his beard straightened. He snorted coldly. What do you people know? This old man has wandered the 4 seas, and his immortal tracks are untraceable. It wasn't easy for me to reach Stellar Sky City. Lin to have to be the Lins to of the of course be of me of A to be of course. The people of the heavenly tribulation shook their heads in disbelief. They felt that he was an old liar. Therefore, many of them walked away. Let's go too, Zhao Zhirua said. She was not interested in such things. Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing, and the others also turned to leave. However, at this moment, the sage-like old man in front of them shifted his gaze. His eyes lit up when he saw Zhao Zhirua. This was because the other party's attire was extremely extraordinary. With a single glance, one could tell that he was very wealthy. Therefore, he hurriedly said, "Everyone, please listen to me." However, no one stopped. Lin Xian and the others did not stop either. It seemed that no one wanted to bother with this old liar. When the old man saw this, he pinched his fingers. With a flash of light, he appeared in front of Lin Xian and the others. "You're in a hurry. Can you listen to me?" Seeing this, Lin Xian and the others stopped in their tracks. This old man is quite fast. However, Zhao Zhirua obviously did not believe him. She said coldly, "We don't need any fortune-telling. Just leave." Murong Qingqing did not believe her either. Lin Xian shrugged, and the few of them prepared to leave. However, at this moment, the old man said, "Let me calculate. When you were 9 years old, something happened that changed your fate. When you were 13 years old, something happened that changed your fate again. 2 changes in your fate made you soar and achieve what you have today." Buzz. Hearing this, Zhao Zhirua stopped in her tracks. She turned her head, and a sharp light flashed in her eyes. Countless runes flickered on her body. Her voice also became sharp. "Who are you? How do you know about me?" She seemed to be filled with shock. It seems that the old man was right. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing were also surprised. Could it be that the old man really knows how to read fortunes? Of course. I did it. How about it? Do you believe me now? Hearing this, Zhao Zhirua's eyes flickered. Murong Qingqing was also surprised. Seeing this scene, the old man thought that they believed him, so he took a step forward and said in a low voice, "I don't want to hide it from you. I can see that your complexions are extraordinary, but your glabella is dark. There seems to be a bloody disaster in the near future." Hearing this, the dark red dragon directly spat out the monster king meat in its mouth. It bared its teeth and said, "Old man, it seems that I deserve to hit you. You're too good at deceiving people. How dare you curse me?" The dark red dragon was so angry that it stomped its feet. Little White was also unhappy. In addition, Zhao Zhirua's face darkened. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing's mouths twitched. They originally thought that this person was some kind of expert. However, they did not expect that the second sentence revealed his true nature. "He's obviously deceiving us. Old man, don't talk nonsense," Zhao Zhirua shouted coldly. The dark red dragon at the side also sneered. "Old man, how dare you cheat me of my money? You're courting death. Do you know who this girl is? She's a member of the Zhao family. The Zhao family is the overlord of this place. How dare you say that she's going to face a bloody disaster? Aren't you afraid that countless mighty figures will hunt you down? Hearing this, the old man shrunk his neck and muttered in his heart, "Damn, her identity is so precious. Could it be that I'm going to play big this time?" However, his eyes flickered. In the end, he gritted his teeth and said, "No matter how precious your identity is, there is indeed an incident that will affect you and even your family. If you don't handle it well, humph, what nonsense." Zhao Zhihua's face was cold. This old man is too reckless. Chapter 2272. The old man was completely unaware. He looked at them carefully and said, "All of you are doing this for the same reason." Then, his gaze swept past the few people. When he saw Lin Xian, his heart skipped a beat. He subconsciously took a step back. He pointed at Lin Xian in shock. Lin Xian's face darkened. What does the old man want to say? The old man said, "It's all because of you. Kid, Things haven't been going well for you recently. He originally thought that the old man would be able to see hunted down, but the old man refused to say anything. The danger hasn't been resolved yet. Next, Su Yixin looked at that in the future and was also very hunted down by even more powerhouses. He didn't say anything else except for one word. Lin Xian did not believe it at first, but when he heard that, was surprised because she was indeed of the Phoenix bloodline. The old man was right, and not many people knew the secret. Being hunted down by she didn't expect that the old man would be able to see through it. Still looking for him. Could it be that the old man was really an expert? What about me said that the future would be very dangerous? Lin Xian asked in the end. However, other than him, that the old man was indeed extraordinary, and perhaps he could see something from him. Did not know about Su Yixin finally looked at Lin Xian in front of him. However, this time, could it be that he was really out a mouthful of blood? Lin Xian was face became incomparably pale. The dark red dragon was also surprised, but he still was extremely frightened, and his body began to tremble in his hand. He said in horror, he waved his dragon claws and said, "Old man, I don't want the money. Tell me, I want to live for 2 more years. If you can tell me, I'll believe you." The old man and the others were puzzled, looked at the dark red dragon. Why would he vomit blood just because Lin Xian was in his eyes? That was too exaggerated. He was shocked and a look of fear appeared on his face. Too fake. In fact, the dark red dragon curled its lips. Lin Xian also the dark red dragon asked, "Old man, Mister, what did you see?" I don't know. I don't know anything. I can't say. Little brother, I can't say. I beg you, stop pretending. I really want to live for 2 more years. Otherwise, I'll roast you. Su Yixin turned around. The dragon bared its fangs. However, his voice drifted and said helplessly, "What I said before is true in this world. You've been in danger recently. What do you mean? You should be careful. How dare you curse me?" After saying that, the dark red dragon was of white light and ran away in an instant. Is my existence a mistake? He was very angry and wanted to attack. The old man had guessed the identities of the dark red dragon, and the little man wiped his sweat and said, "Although your existence is when it came to him, your existence will soon become reasonable. He's an old liar, acting all mysterious." The dark red dragon snorted coldly at the dragon snorted in disdain. Also sighed. Lin Xian also frowned because he felt that the old man might have some skills. This was because for the dark red divine dragon was a dragon. If that was the case, was a legendary mythical beast. True that they were in danger. Other than the dark red divine dragon, he had never seen a second real dragon. At most, they were related to dragons such as flood dragons and tyrannosaurs to the Zhao family. However, if anyone dares to cause trouble for the Zhao family in the future, if that was the case, you must cut off all red divine dragon really shouldn't exist in this world. You have nothing to do with me. However, what did he mean by the existence of the future would become reasonable? Zhao Zhiruo could it be that many dragons would appear in the future? Was just spouting nonsense. Lin Xian still didn't know. But judging from Lin Xian's reaction, he felt that the old man seemed to have some skills. So he said, shook his head and did not take a look at it. However, as he spoke, he felt that he could not the little white Zhao family any longer. Su Yixin looked at the little white monkey, around for a while, but after a long time, goodbye the reaction was the same as before. They were almost at the end of the road. She had a look of horror, so there were fewer people around, and then she shook her head. However, at that moment, a cold light suddenly appeared. Little white was also very dissatisfied and even threw the bone in her hand away. Lin Xian's heart skipped a beat. It seemed that the little white monkey's origin was very extraordinary. He had been suspicious because Little White did indeed have many magical powers. She could make people dizzy, was extremely fast, and even had a treasure bowl. More importantly, she didn't seem to need to cultivate much, and her strength would increase with time. That was really shocking. It could be said that the little white monkey was extremely mysterious, but Lin Xian still didn't know what kind of race it was. A hazy, smoke-like figure suddenly appeared beside Lin Xian. Chapter 2273. Lin Xian's pupils constricted, and the people around him exclaimed. Light in front of them, they did not expect such a thing to happen. The entire place was in the critical moment, and it was impossible to see the ancient dragon abyss sword naturally alarmed the entire stellar earth-shattering sound rang out as the attack collided with the ancient dragon abyss sword, emitting a thunderous sound. Immediately after, the terrifying figures filled the sky and rose into the air. The ancient dragon abyss sword was a heaven-grade treasure sword and was extremely hard, but when they saw the terrifying sword light in front of them, the powerful force caused the blood in Lin Xian's body to churn. Could it be that a peerless powerhouse was fighting? Could it be that the people from the Tai dynasty were here, and their eyes were also fixed on the scene? The people around him were also shocked, and the sword in front of them slowly disappeared, and the cracks in the sky said that there was danger. Quickly recovered. Could it be that they were going to verify it now? Everyone's eyes she did not dare to imagine, because the most critical moment had arrived. Put up a defense, and wanted to know what was going on. Was Lin Xian also snorted, and in particular light shot out from her body. The dark red divine dragon, the dark red divine dragon also looked around. In front of them, a figure appeared. The dark red divine dragon roared, and "Don't let me catch you, or I'll roast you." He stood there like a god of death. At this moment, another flash appeared beside Lin Xian and was only 2 meters away from him. That's right. This time, the figure that appeared finally saw the other party. It was a man in disheveled, and his body was wrapped in a black mist. The clothes on his body were pierced through, and it was impossible to see clearly. There was a pool of blood. A black long sword was piercing toward him like a terrifying murderous aura. This was the blood of a powerhouse. Everything was too sudden, and it was naturally different from that of an ordinary person. And even Lin Xian did not expect that he was injured. The people around him were even more shocked. Face also someone actually dared to attack Lin Xian. He was courting death, and they were very nervous. One had to know that Lin Xian had killed hundreds of kings alone. Lin Xian suddenly raised his head. Strength made the light in his eyes was like a peerless divine sword that pierced through all directions. Someone actually dared to assassinate Lin Xian. He shouted coldly, "The terrifying sword light swallowed and spat out rays of light as it slashed towards Lin Xian's head. That guy is injured." There was simply no way to dodge it. Everyone in the distance was shocked. A fatal blow. They didn't expect that Lin Xian could withstand such a terrifying killing move. And even injure the other party. Such a terrifying killing was heaven-defying. The dark red divine dragon roared crazily and struck out with its dragon claws in an attempt to stop them. Nervous. However, the other party was still there, and he had disappeared. This wasn't good news for them. That was because their lives could be threatened at any time. A terrifying radiance surged out from her body, and the Jade Lake's great divine ability was quickly launched. Was even more gloomy because it was too dangerous just now. However, if it were anyone else, divine ability even a peerless powerful, they couldn't save him at all. Fortunately, he had the great dragon he felt a biting cold at the crucial moment. He resisted the other party and destroyed the other party's killing move. But that terrifying killing intent he injured the other party. His entire body turn cold. The other party's speed was very fast. Lin Xian roared when he saw that there was no way to dodge. In the next moment, the great dragon sword spirit erupted, and endless sword light emerged from his body. Between heaven and earth, there was the sound of a dragon's roar as streaks of dragon-shaped sword chi flew out from Lin Xian's body and slashed forward. Boom! The void in front of him instantly exploded, and a terrifying collision sound rang out. A blast of air turned into a mushroom cloud that shot straight into the sky. The sky rumbled, and everything within a radius of 10,000 miles shook. The surrounding buildings collapsed in an instant, and the void split open as the cracks spread in all directions. Everyone's scalps went numb as they frantically retreated. Many people were directly sent flying by the blast of air. Not good. Retreat quickly. The dark red divine dragon swung its tail and tore the void apart as it quickly retreated. Zhao Zhuo and Murong Qingqing were also surrounded by countless rays of light as they floated back like fairies. Therefore, at the crucial moment, he dodged the fatal blow. Damn it, who was it? Could it be an expert from the war tribe? Lin Xian's face was gloomy. The threat that the other party gave him wasn't inferior to the Golden Lion King. In fact, it was even more intense. Although the Golden Lion King was domineering, it wasn't a sneak attack. And this person's sneak attack was impossible to guard against. If a peerless powerhouse wasn't careful, they would also die. No, it shouldn't be the war tribe. Lin Xian shook his head. This was obviously the behavior of an assassin. It was completely different from the war tribe's violence that was born for battle. Be careful, they're assassins. Lin Xian reminded, and the dragon sword domain rose from his body. When Murong Qingqing and Zhao Zhihua saw this scene, they also quickly used their own domains. Buzz. Right at this moment, another shocking ray of light lit up. Chapter 2274. The terrifying killing intent emerged again, and the surrounding people retreated frantically. They had long pulled a safe distance away, but now, their scalps were still numb. Because the aftermath of this killing intent made their hearts beat wildly. They realized that if it were them, they wouldn't be able to dodge at all. Qingqing, be careful. Lin Xian let out a long roar. He didn't expect that these killers would actually attack Murong Qingqing. It was really hateful. It was too fast and he couldn't stop it in time. Because he had just called out, that sword light was still enveloping Murong Qingqing. Flying flower. At the moment of crisis, a jade lotus platform appeared under Murong Qingqing's feet, spinning rapidly, and petals danced in the sky. It was very dreamy. These petals contained endless power, completely enveloping her. Ding, ding. Sure enough, in the next moment, as long as those assassins wanted to escape, it would immediately discover metal colliding. However, the peerless killing intent was like to have escaped at all. And the murderous aura did not appear to the sky. It was as if they had disappeared. Murong Qingqing was even more extraordinary. Concealment ability. The flying flower divine ability that she used was also even more terrifying. She actually could not catch the other party at all. In the Western Emperor scripture. In the Western Emperor's scripture, martial artists in Tianjin Sacred Ground scripture was a cultivation technique created by the great emperor, daring to approach it all. Unfathomable. What a joke! At this moment, the two attacks from before were really even more shocking. Even those peerless mighty figures in the city felt their scalps penetrate the petals that filled the sky. However, the surrounding void shattered sky with solemn and countless cracks appeared. Among them, however, was a dignified man wearing battle armor and standing in the void. Countless petals enveloped her. Of Tianjin City. This scene, at this moment, his expression was extremely and then her gloomy. Pair of beautiful the other one was from the Zhao family. He was an old man wearing cotton clothes. Since her defense was ready, were like then it was time for her to counterattack, illuminating all directions. With a wave of her jade-like hand, he was old Master Zhao, the petals that filled the sky formed a sharp light that his expression was also extremely solemn. Light flickered. This was because he realized that he could not catch the traces of these assassins. Black hole. Not only however, the two of them, but all the martial artists in Tianjin City were also using their own secret techniques, the crisis was not over. The other party's traces. Because when Murong Qingqing was attacked, they were afraid that these people would come to their side. Moreover, it was very even sharper and more terrifying exclamation sounded. When Lin Xian saw Murong Qingqing being assassinated, I can't see them at all. He was furious. I can't even catch a trace of their aura, wanting to rescue them. Could it be that they had disappeared? In the next moment, or had they already left? The hair on his body did not dare to imagine. He unleashed even the demigods and semi-devils had extreme expressions on their faces. At the same time, snorted the dragon sword domain quickly slashed out streams of sword chi. Lin Xian's expression was cold. This shocking sword light power quickly surged out and enveloped the entire Tianjin the sword chi formed by the dragon sword domain directly knocked away made his expression extremely solemn. This time, however, in the next moment, he snorted coldly. When the attack failed, golden runes disappeared into the void. Turning into strands of green smoke, the dragon sword disappearing without a trace, enveloped him, forming a layer of light. Xian's face darkened when he saw this. Could not see clearly at all. The other party actually dared to attack. Eyes turned golden. This made him angry and frightened at the same secret divine eyes. Not just one assassin, this was because he realized that the other party was divine dragon, and the others had no choice but to use this trump card. Roared angrily. Golden runes flashed in his eyes. They unleashed their activating the heavenly secret divine eyes. Damn it, the whole world was different. Zhao Zhihua's face was incomparably ugly because this method had completely surpassed her imagination. Their speed was really shocking. The assassin did not attack her previously. Came behind otherwise, the dark red divine dragon. It would have been difficult for her to block it. The killing sword in his hand was about to stab. The divine dragon let out a long howl and waved its dragon claws. Lin Xian was furious. A large formation flew out and completely enveloped and could still see the other party. Above the sky, therefore he did not hold back anymore. No one could leave without a sound. He pulled out the ancient sword. A sharp sword light slashed down from the sky. Boom! This sword slashed at the side of the dark red divine dragon. The dark red divine dragon was shocked. He thought that Lin Xian was going to attack him. However, he soon understood. He swung his dragon tail and instantly left the place. Boom! The sword light fell and the sky was split in half. A figure was sent flying while vomiting blood. This figure was surrounded by a black mist. He looked like a god of death from hell. However, in this sword light, the mist on his body was like a flame that was quickly extinguished. His true body was revealed. It was a man in black. He wore tight black clothes and a ghost mask on his face. Therefore, even without the black mist, no one knew who he was. Damn it, how could it be? Chapter 2275. Damn it, how is that possible? The mysterious masked man was also extremely terrified. He did not expect that the other party could hurt him. Could it be that the other party had discovered his tracks? But how was that possible? He could not believe it. He came from a very ancient and mysterious place, and his movement technique was passed down from ancient times. How was it possible that these people had discovered him? In the next moment, he turned into green smoke and disappeared again. Damn it! How dare you assassinate me? Go to hell. The dark red dragon was furious. If it were not for Lin Xian, he would have been attacked by now. Although he was a dragon and had a strong defense. If he was hit, it would not be a joke. Therefore, in the next moment, he roared crazily and spat out balls of dragon flames that covered the entire sword sky. Kept enlarging. However, like a huge mountain masked pressing down from the sky. Again. The terrifying, chaotic sword light shot straight into the sky. He had discovered the void instantly collapsed. No one knew that in the sky, ghost masked two figures were communicating with each other through voice transmission. No one knew, but that kid must have been lucky. And he could not have discovered bright light erupted from his body. The other person shook his head. He would use the black sword in his hand to quickly counterattack. But it had stopped bleeding. The two collided together and get rid of that 10,000 horses. The two of them communicated secretly, just and the sound wave alone directly tore through the void. No one around them knew what was going on. Although the ghost-masked assassin even the was dark red dragon, he had underestimated Lin Xian's strength. Did not know what was going on. This sword was extremely terrifying, and it contained Lin Xian's under the effect of the heavenly secret god eyes. Therefore, he could clearly see the two figures. The ghost-masked assassin was directly he could also see the two blurry black figures charging towards him at high speed. His arm was instantly broken. Lin Xian held energy had shaken his internal organs to the point where they were seriously and slashed in a direction beside him. The ghost-masked assassin's expression finally changed. A figure suddenly appeared in the void that was originally countless empty. Black smoke rose from his body and then merged into the void again, disappearing. When Lin Xian saw that he had hit his behind him was he also snorted and used the chaotic sky destroyer sword again. He did not attack, the terrifying sword light directly pierced through the entire sky and disappeared. At the same time, to retreat, a lotus flower because they were out from his fingertip and they were good at killing behind him. If they missed their target, the other masked they would immediately flee 1,000 miles away. He actually repelled it completely. This was the rule of assassins. Did he see it? And as the top everyone was shocked. They naturally understood. The Heavenly Star City's city lord and old man Zhao in front of them with expressions on their faces. It was as if he could find their traces, did not see so they had no choice but to temporarily leave. Lin Xian able to see it? Want to leave? They could not understand. Lin Xian snorted coldly. At the same time, and the light they were extremely shocked burst out from his eyes. Because what happened today previously he was beyond their expectations. So how could he let these two people leave? Assassins were far beyond their next moment, he used the heavenly dragon's strength displayed by Lin Xian, and his speed was extremely fast. Even in an instant, they didn't know how the other party had locked onto the god eyes burst out. The two of them were shocked, and a biting but cold the two ghost-masked assassins were even more shocked. Appeared, causing Lin Xian to lock onto the even more shocked. Boom. Originally, the ancient dragon sword was incomparably just lucky to have found them the first sharp sword chi of the great dragon sword. They were dumbfounded. It instantly shattered the void. The other party was able to accurately send them flying. It was as if a peerless divine sword had flashed down. This was definitely not a blind guess. The entire sky was cut in half. It was because the other party had really discovered their tracks in all directions. But how was that possible? How could he be so powerful? One had to know that the two of them were from an incomparably mysterious assassin organization. And when they felt their movement techniques descending from the sky, and even peerless powerhouses couldn't detect them. Because the other party, attack alone was already not weaker than a peerless almighty. They could not figure it out. It seemed that this target was indeed as powerful as the rumors said. Lin Xian held the ancient sword and attacked again. They thought that with the strength of the two of them and their assassination techniques, ancient dragon they would be able to in his hand eliminate the other party. Now, it seemed that they had been careless and underestimated the other party. However, the two of them were not to be trifled with. With a roar, the two ghost-masked assassins burst out with unparalleled power, and then the two of them exploded with speed. Boom! In an instant, they dodged the terrifying sword light by a hair's breadth. However, very soon they screamed again. Because, after the sword light, the dense and terrifying sword chi in the sky descended from the sky. It was as if a huge dragon was dancing in the sky. Sky shattering. After a few more ultimate moves, the entire sky exploded. The two ghost-masked assassins could no longer resist. They were sent flying while vomiting blood. Speak, who are you? Chapter 2276. Looking at this scene, the surrounding people were all stunned. Even old Master Zhao, the city lord, and the peerless mighty figures felt their hearts skip a beat. That was because they did not find any traces of the two masked men at all. However, Lin Xian was able to capture their figures the entire time. That was too unbelievable. Moreover, the combat strength that Lin Xian displayed made their hearts skip a beat. That kid's combat strength was comparable to that of a peerless mighty figure. The two masked men in front took out pills and quickly swallowed them to repair their injured bodies. At the same time, their faces were gloomy as they circulated their inner force. Buzz. They waved their long swords and released a terrifying sword light. When the devil-masked man saw that, he smiled sinisterly directly at Lin Xian. In the next moment, the devil-masked man escaped from the broken black hole. The black bead continued to expand. That guy was trying to escape. Skulls rushed out of it. The dark red divine dragons, each of them was extremely ferocious as they charged at the other party to be so decisive as to self-destruct a top-grade treasure chi to destroy his formation. Everything turned into ashes. If the other party escaped, it would be impossible to catch him again and were sent flying again. In fact, he had already lost track of the other party. With shock. However, that was because the other party was too powerful. His eyes flickered. Lin Xian held the ancient sword and said coldly. Then he put away the ancient dragon abyss sword and held it in his left hand. As he said that, he used the demigods and semi-devils and charged at them at his maximum speed. And its entire body emitted a blazing dragon sword's soul roared, energy gathered in his right hand and formed an arrow. At that moment, golden runes erupted like a peerless sword god that everyone looked up to. In the next moment, Lin Xian pulled the longbow into a full slash down. An arrow flew out. Each of them was like a huge mountain. Wherever it passed, they carried an extremely sharp force. The arrow was extremely fast. He released 36 sword chi behind him, and when each sword chi was like a giant dragon that covered the entire sky and burned the blood in his body to escape. Men were forced to retreat again and again. The arrow pierced through his heart. Countless sword wounds appeared on their bodies. Nailed in the void. One of them even had his arm cut off, and blood flowed out, splitting him in half. It splattered on the ground, creating countless deep pits. The two masked men's scalps went numb, of a king, and they did not dare to stay any longer. Terrifying. They turned into two streams of light and disappeared into the void. Difficulty. They quickly He didn't expect the other party to be able to lock onto him and pierce through him and waved his dragon claws. In the next moment, trying to escape, a hint of madness appeared in his eyes. He quickly activated the formation. Kid, you're dead meat. The terrifying array shone brightly. The sound made cutting off all paths of retreat for the enemy. At this moment, the devil-masked man's body suddenly expanded, and the devil-masked man with the broken arm was directly exploded and swept across a radius of 10,000 miles. Turning into a bloody mess. Seeing this scene, the upper half of his body roared ferociously. The expressions of the cultivators in almost made him faint. City changed. However, at this moment, a violent force was enough to destroy Stellar Sky City. Furthermore, it was likely that all of them would be affected. First, it was very likely that they would be killed. Then, it turned into countless runes that sealed the Sky City was not to be trifled with. Him to the dark red divine dragon. Stars suddenly lit up and circled in the sky, forming his soul forming a powerful light screen. His footsteps completely enveloped as he charged towards another masked man. This was the defensive formation of Stellar Sky City, so scared and it was extremely powerful. His companion had already been subdued by the other party. Brought about a large amount of energy. It was all blocked by Stellar Sky City's formation. He opened his mouth again and spat out a large black feeling as if they had survived a disaster. Trembled in the wind and turned into a 10,000 expressions were extremely solemn because the other party would rather self-destruct than leave faces were roaring inside. One had to admit that this group of people was too terrifying. Turned into hell. Fortunately, they still caught a powerful bejeweled artifact. Explode. A cold voice sounded, and the powerful bejeweled artifact as the monarchs of the 9 great dynasties of the Middle State filled heaven and earth, definitely and the defensive formation was instantly torn apart. They were still countless black holes appeared in the sky. Of them. One could imagine what kind of storm it caused in the Eastern Barren Continent at that time. However, what was even more shocking was that the entire Eastern Barren Continent couldn't destroy hell. They could only suppress it. Just how terrifying was this hell? They really didn't dare to imagine. Chapter 2278. That was because old Master Zhao had said that there were 3 major assassin organizations in the world, and Earth Prison was only one of them. The other 2 should be as powerful as Earth Prison. However, they had never heard of them before. Heavenly Court and the Human World. Heavenly Court, Earth Prison, and the human world. The three top assassin dynasties were supreme existences that had been passed down since ancient times. The dark red dragon said in a deep voice. Something like what had happened 30,000 years ago had happened more than once. Previously, the human world had assassinated the emperors of the 9 dynasties and succeeded. At that time, 4 emperors of the 9 dynasties were killed, which caused great anger. In the end, the human world suffered the same fate as Earth Prison. From then on, it kept a low profile and did not appear for tens of thousands of years. How could such a thing happen? Everyone was shocked. The eyes of the city lord of Sky Star City, Old Master Zhao, and the others flickered. They had also heard of this legend. But then they frowned. As for the heavenly court, it's even more mysterious. We don't know what it's like now. There isn't even a legend about it. Nothing is left behind? Lin Xian frowned and asked again, Ruffian Dragon, do you know? The dark red dragon took a deep breath. I've heard of a legend. The heavenly court has been destroyed and no longer exists. What? It's destroyed? How is that possible? Everyone was shocked. Old Master Zhao, the city lord of Sky Star City, and the others were in disbelief. The heavenly court was the most powerful assassin dynasty. It was rumored that it was even more terrifying than the human world and Earth Prison. How could it be destroyed? That's right. Even Earth Prison and the human world survived such a terrifying attack. How could the heavenly court be destroyed? It couldn't be helped because the heavenly court was even crazier. They actually attacked the clan of the ancients. It was said that the heavenly court was very crazy and ambitious back then. They seemed to be carrying out a huge plan. Therefore, they attacked the clan of the ancients. Moreover, they successfully assassinated the peerless prodigy of the clan of the ancients. Even the prodigy of the war race was assassinated back then. In the end, some of the clan of the ancients were angry. They joined forces and activated 3 extreme weapons to destroy the heavenly court. What? How could such a thing happen? When Old Master Zhao and the others heard this, they all sucked in a cold breath. Heavenly Court's legacy, and the heavenly court had been destroyed. Murong Qingqing was even more shocked. Extreme weapons. Those were weapons left behind the great emperor. One was already heaven-defying. There was probably no one who could contend against 3 of them. A great emperor was an existence that stood at the pinnacle of martial arts. His weapon was known as an extreme weapon, and its power was unimaginable. The power of an extreme-grade weapon was unimaginably terrifying. Of course, without a great emperor, the extreme-grade weapon would not be able to unleash its full power. Even so, if a peerless powerhouse used it, it would still be able to unleash a shocking attack. The Jade Lake Sacred Ground had an extreme weapon, the West Imperial Tower. It was a weapon left behind by the Queen Mother of the West. It could be said that with the West Imperial Pagoda, no one would dare to attack the Jade Pool. After hearing this, everyone was extremely shocked. Who would have thought that there was such an ancient secret? Among them, Old Man Zhao, the Stellar Sky City's city lord, and the others were even more astonished. How did the other party know a secret that they didn't know? Could it be that the other party's background was even more terrifying? Thinking of this, they all sucked in a cold breath. Kid, hell hasn't appeared for a long time. They must be up to something big this time. Moreover, after this failure, they would definitely send even more terrifying assassins. Because they wouldn't ruin their own reputation. You really have to be careful in the future. The dark red divine dragon reminded. Lin Xian's face was extremely gloomy. Being targeted by such a terrifying organization, one could imagine that the future would be much more dangerous. Thinking of this, his face was gloomy. Damn it, who was it that dared to send such a person to kill him? Needless to say, it must be those people from the Tai dynasty and the war tribe. Otherwise, ordinary families wouldn't be able to afford such terrifying assassins. Tai dynasty, don't let me meet you, or you'll be dead. Lin Xian gritted his teeth. He felt that he couldn't stay in Stellar Sky City any longer. He had to leave quickly and go to Qianshan City to see if there was any news about the nest of 10,000 dragons. If there wasn't, he would immediately leave this place. In short, he couldn't be pursued by the people from the Tai dynasty anymore. I'll help you find out who leaked the news. Murong Qingqing also said coldly. As the saintess of the Jade Lake sacred ground, she had a lot of power. However, in order to keep a low profile, she was generally unwilling to show this kind of strength. But now, someone dared to threaten Lin Xian's life. She couldn't care less. Senior sister, help me contact the people from the Jade Lake here. Zhao Zhiruan nodded and quickly went to contact the people. There was nothing she could do about it. Although she was the senior sister, Murong Qingqing was way more powerful than her. Because the saintess of the Jade Lake was the future master of the Jade Lake's sacred ground. Such a status was extremely noble. After about the time it took for an incense stick to burn, 4 figures appeared in the sky. They were 4 beautiful women. As soon as they appeared, they shouted respectfully. Saintess, go and find out who is in contact with the Tai dynasty. At the same time, pay attention to the people from the Kai dynasty. See what they've been doing recently. Also, find out the whereabouts of the Hell Assassin. Murong Qingqing said in a deep voice, then waved her hand. Buzz. The 4 beauties in front of her hurriedly turned into 4 streams of light and disappeared into the sky. They had to admit that the Jade Lake sacred ground was very powerful and terrifying. This was not the Eastern Wilderness and was not their territory. But soon they found out about this matter. Reporting to the saintess, the matter has been investigated. The people from the Tai dynasty found traces of young Master Lin. And this secret was leaked by the Qiyu clan. Qiyu clan? Hearing this, Lin Xian frowned. Murong Qingqing also asked in a deep voice. Then, is there any other news about the hell? The beauties shook their heads. The hell is too mysterious. We can't get any information at all. Moreover, when the 18 silver clouds combined, they could form a terrifying array that sealed everything. As expected, when the 18 flags fluttered in the wind, silver runes that filled the sky enveloped the sky-piercing divine sword, isolating all auras. Phew! Seeing this scene, the elders and young geniuses all heaved a sigh of relief. Chapter 2280. They quickly set up matrices and joined forces, preparing to completely seal the peerless divine sword in front of them. Boom! However, in the next moment, their expressions changed again. That was because the peerless divine sword in front of them suddenly erupted with a terrifying aura. Endless rays of light turned into giant dragons and rushed in all directions. In an instant, the 18 silver flags were cut in half. Boom! 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 The energy explosion swept across the sky like a wave. Many people were hit again and did not even have time to scream. The others went crazy and unleashed several light barriers to defend themselves regardless of the price they had to pay. Damn it! Who is it? How dare you go against the Red Moon family? Do you really want to die? The Red Moon family is the 6th prince's people. A series of frenzied roars could be heard, but no one answered them. However, at that moment, a sneer sounded in the sky. The Red Moon family? Are they very powerful? How dare you secretly frame me? Today, I'll let you have a taste of being tortured. A cold voice sounded, and then 2 figures quickly descended. Soon, the 2 figures stood on the peerless divine sword. One of them was a handsome young man in red, and the other was a dark red divine dragon that was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. It was Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. What? It's you. You're not dead. When everyone saw the figure in front of them, they were all stunned and screamed crazily. How could they not recognize him because he was the enemy that they gritted their teeth and wanted to kill? However, wasn't he captured by the people of the Tai dynasty and brought back to be punished? Why was he here? That was impossible. Could it be that the people of the Tai dynasty had failed? They did not dare to imagine. Damn it, it's him. Father, kill him. You must kill him. In the crowd, Red Moon Ku was lying on the ground and roaring crazily. At that moment, when he saw Lin Xian, he roared crazily. However, when Lin Xian heard that, he sneered disdainfully. You still want to kill me? Do you have the right to? He was indeed angry. If the Red Moon family had not tipped him off, he would not have attracted the assassins from hell. If he did not have the great dragon sword soul, he would have been killed by such a terrifying assassin. He was not the only one. The Crimson Dragon, Murong Qingqing, and Zhao Zhiruo would probably be killed. However, all of this was because of the Red Moon clan. How could Lin Xian not be angry? Therefore, he had no intention of letting the Red Moon clan off today. He even dared to kill the Golden Lion King, let alone a small Red Moon clan. Do you have any last words? Leave them. If not, you can all go to hell. Lin Xian's expression was ice-cold. He stood on the ancient dragon abyss sword like a sword god, exuding a peerless killing intent. You want to kill us? He really overestimated himself. Red Moon snorted coldly. Everyone listen up. Kill him at all costs. Die, brat. The three great beings joined hands and lunged at him in a frenzy. A golden spear, a green saber, and a black shield. The three mighty figures were very fast and arrived in front of Lin Xian in the blink of an eye. The golden spears in their hands transformed into golden lightning that filled the sky and surged forward. The green saber turned into a dragon and slashed down crazily. The black shield continued to enlarge and turned into a black demonic mountain. It crushed the void and enveloped Lin Xian. The three elders were all elite great beings. When they attacked, terrifying energy surged and terrifying light pierced through the void. However, it was useless. Lin Xian waved his hand and countless sword chi gathered, forming a sword shadow that he grasped. Buzz. It slashed forward. Boom. The sword chi was resplendent like a comet. The golden light was split apart in an instant. Chapter 2284. Then, a golden rune appeared in Lin Xian's eyes again. Soul burning. Soul Red Moon shrieked miserably, looking extremely miserable. Ancestor, save me. He roared crazily, trying to ask for help. Ancestor Red Lunar Spirit's pupils constricted. Damn it, soul attack. Buzz. He hurriedly used a secret technique, and a rune appeared on his forehead. It seemed to be a secret technique of the Red Lunar Spirit clan that was used to block soul attacks. Then he spat out a blue bead that covered Red Lunar Spirit. The blue bead emitted a blue light, trying to save Red Lunar Spirit's soul. However, they had underestimated the heavenly secret divine eyes. It was useless, and no one could save Red Lunar Spirit. Sure enough, Red Lunar Spirit stopped resisting. His eyes were empty, and his body fell from the sky. This was because his soul had already been obliterated. Patriarch! Everyone roared crazily. When they saw that their patriarch had no reaction, they were stunned. Their patriarch had been killed. Thinking of this, their scalps went numb, and their faces were filled with despair. Fortunately, their ancestor was still around. Otherwise, they would have escaped long ago. These people raised their heads and shouted crazily, "Ancestor, please avenge us. Ancestor, kill this brat. You must kill him." Ancestor Red Lunar Spirit was trembling with anger. The other party had killed their patriarch in front of him, and he could not tolerate it. Damn brat, go to hell. He was furious, and in the next moment he slapped out his palm. The thorny red palm carried a sky full of multicolored light, and it smashed down like a volcano. Boom, boom, boom. Along with this palm, the ground below cracked open, and 8 fire pillars appeared. They shot directly into the sky, and together with the sky-covering palm, they quickly enveloped Lin Xian. Boom! Just as Lin Xian was about to be refined, a shocking roar was heard. Then, an azure dragon shot into the sky and kept expanding. Its body was tens of thousands of feet long, and it swept in all directions. Boom! 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 All the attacks were completely shattered, and the azure dragon circled around Lin Xian's body before entering it. Lin Xian, on the other hand, held the ancient sword in his hand and stood in the air like a god of death. What a terrifying sword energy! He was actually a swordsman. Old ancestor Qi Yu frowned. The attack power of a swordsman was extremely strong among those of the same level. It was very difficult to deal with them. It seemed like it was time to use his ultimate move. Old ancestor Qi Yu coldly snorted. Brat, I'll let you see the results of my 300 years of closed-door cultivation. Today, I will use you as an example. Ancestor Red Moon coldly snorted. His body emitted a hazy radiance, and his terrifying aura was extremely terrifying. It was as if 100,000 volcanoes were erupting at the same time. The next moment, he opened his mouth and spat out a red weapon. It was only the size of a palm and had an irregular shape. From the looks of it, it was not a precious artifact. It was probably just a broken fragment. However, as soon as the fragment appeared, it suddenly enlarged and formed a huge red volcano, blocking all of the sword chi in the sky. Seeing this, Lin Xian frowned. The dark red divine dragon's eyelids were also twitching. What was this thing? How could it be so powerful? The two of them were indeed shocked. Although it was just a fragment, its aura was too shocking. It definitely surpassed an Earth-class artifact. Brat, be careful. This should be a fragment of a Heaven-class artifact. A Heaven-class artifact? Hearing this, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The dark red divine dragon said, "That's right. It's a Heaven-class artifact. Its strength is above an Earth-class artifact, but it can't match the power of a Heaven-class artifact. However, its power still exceeds an Earth-class artifact." As he said that, the black tortoise's figure turned into a black ray of light and disappeared into the void, leaving behind Old Man Zhao with an extremely gloomy expression. However, after about half an hour, the black tortoise returned again. It was done. He returned to the lake. Not long after, dozens of people came from afar. They were all elders of the Zhao family. They said excitedly. They had retreated. The people of the Tai dynasty had left. To be honest, they were extremely excited. They felt like they had survived a disaster. Because just now, countless figures descended on the Zhao family. Those people were like gods and demons, causing the void to distort. Could that person be Yen Ruyu? Now that you mention it, it's really possible. Although they only saw her back, she was so beautiful that many people were talking about it. A few of the bolder ones decided to follow her and take a look. More than a dozen figures followed her. In front, Murong Qingqing and Lin Xian frowned. What was going on? Could it be that someone was chasing after them? They were suspicious. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing sped up, but the people behind them were shouting as if they had been injected with chicken blood. "Miss Yen Ruyu, don't go." "Fairy Yen, can you have a chat with us?" They shouted one after another. Hearing this, Lin Xian rolled his eyes. Murong Qingqing frowned. It seemed that these people thought she was Yen Ruyu. Thinking of this, she snorted coldly. In the next moment, she waved her hand, and countless rays of light flew out and enveloped those people. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Those rays of light turned into vines that wrapped around the dozen or so cultivators behind them and dropped them in midair. Those cultivators cried out in alarm and wanted to struggle. However, they couldn't struggle at all. They could only stay in midair and shout with all their might. "Fairy Yen, don't go." However, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing had already disappeared into the void. Heavenly Treasure Pavilion, the best manor in Qianshan City. "Lady Boss, please give me a good guest room." After Lin Xian entered, he walked to the front. The lady boss was a very beautiful middle-aged woman. She was wearing a long aqua blue dress and was still very charming. She raised her head, glanced at Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing, and then said with a smile, "I'm sorry, the good guest rooms are all gone, and the other rooms are also full. There's only one Eastwater courtyard left. Do you want it?" Eastwater courtyard, a stand-alone courtyard. Lin Xian asked. The lady boss nodded. "That's right, a stand-alone courtyard. This is the last one. If you don't want it, then please leave. I'll take this." Lin Xian nodded. Because along the way, they found that the other places were also full of people. Perhaps it was because of Yen Ruyu that there were so many cultivators in Qianshan City that it had reached a bursting point. 1 supreme grade substandard divine crystal a day. The lady boss reported the price with a smile. Hearing the price, Lin Xian frowned. "Why don't you rob?" Although Lin Xian was using divine crystals now, it didn't mean that supreme grade substandard divine crystals were cabbages. This price could be said to be a sky-high price. The The lady boss's face darkened as she said coldly. There was naturally a reason why it was expensive. Moreover, this was the last one. Take it or leave it. Alright, I'll stay for 5 days. Lin Xian waved his sleeve, and 5 supreme-grade substandard divine crystals appeared on the table. If I need to extend it, I'll pay you again. But the lady boss immediately smiled when she saw the 5 supreme-grade substandard divine crystals. Chapter 2288. Lin Xian took off Murong Qingqing's veil and said with a smile, "Why don't we go together? When did you become so naughty?" Murong Qingqing blushed and pinched Lin Xian hard. Buzz. Lin Xian picked up Murong Qingqing and strode forward. As the day of Yan Ryu's arrival approached, Qianshan City became very lively. At this moment, the inns of all sizes were already crowded, and Sky Treasure Pavilion was even more so. Moreover, those who could stay in Sky Treasure Pavilion were either rich or noble. He was either a powerful martial artist or a young master of a noble family. That was because the price of staying here for a day was very expensive. At this moment, the front hall of Sky Treasure Pavilion was also very lively. The decorations were very exquisite, and every detail was perfect. It was as if one had arrived at a celestial palace. In the sky, a black shadow grew larger and larger, as if a huge mountain was pressing down. Everyone outside Sky Treasure Pavilion looked up, and the people on the street were shocked. They thought that something terrifying was descending. However, in the next moment, they exclaimed in surprise. A white cloud was descending. That's right, it was indeed a white cloud. The white cloud was very large, dozens of meters long, and very soft, like cotton. There was a jade chair on the white cloud. It was transparent and shone with a mysterious light. Just by looking at the chair, one could tell that it was priceless. The white cloud was another great ability. Needless to say, the person who came must be someone extraordinary. A very handsome young man was sitting on the jade chair. He was wearing a white robe that was spotless. He held a folding fan in his hand and gently waved it. His chin was slightly raised, and his eyes were filled with pride. Beside him, there were 4 beautiful women in light muslin standing respectfully. Some held an umbrella for him, some served him fine wine, and the other 2 massaged his shoulders and back. However, at this moment, the white cloud landed on the ground, and the 4 European and American women immediately put away the things in their hands. The smoke catcher umbrella automatically flew up and floated above the young man in white. The 4 beauties gently lifted the jade chair. They were very fast and arrived at Sky Treasure Pavilion in the blink of an eye. Even though they were just 4 weak girls, all of them were sent flying by the impact. Among them, 2 5-star kings were also sent flying without holding back. Bang! Bang! These people fell to the side, and then they were all furious. Damn it! Do you want to die? Among them, a few kings emitted a terrifying aura. Pumph! The young man snorted coldly. He turned his gaze and stared coldly at those kings. Buzz! Those people trembled as if they fell into a 10,000-year-old ice cave. How dare you block young Master Bai's stop? A woman yelled. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was exceptionally clear, shocking everyone. Was young Master Bai Yun the young master of the great general of White Cloud City? He's here too? It was rumored that young Master Bai Yun had mysophobia and his feet never touched the ground. Now, it seemed like it was true. Is that so? I thought he was just being ostentatious. Who knew that he would be such a person? Lower your voice. Are you tired of living? How dare you talk about young Master Bai Yun here? Many people were discussing. However, some of them hurriedly made a face, and some even sneaked away. That was because young Master Bai was a very famous young master in Nine Li Dynasty. His father was the great general of the dynasty. He had outstanding military achievements and was very powerful. Moreover, he was trusted by the emperor. He was like the sun in the sky. Therefore, young Master Bai's identity was very precious. Ordinary almighties did not dare to offend him. Lady Boss, here's our room. Young Master Bai Yun's pupils shrank. His eyes shone brightly. This move of his was something that even an almighty wouldn't dare to take lightly. However, the other party had broken it. He couldn't believe it. Or you, young Master Baiyun didn't attack again. Instead, he asked coldly. Chapter 2290. Even a powerful being would not dare to block his attack, but the other party had broken through it. He could not believe it. Or you, young Master Baiyun did not attack again. Instead, he asked coldly. Cough cough. The black-robed woman coughed twice and said again. I'm just a villager. You won't know me even if I tell you. However, I've been walking for a day and I'm tired. Young master, why don't you give me your room? I'll pay you back double the room fee. Hearing that, everyone was shocked. It seemed that the mysterious person really wanted young Master Baiyun's courtyard. Young Master Baiyun's face darkened and he sneered. Old monster, you're courting death. As he spoke, he attacked again. Flowing cloud sleeve poured down, and a ray of light descended like a heavenly blade. The void instantly split open, and the terrifying crack enveloped the black-robed woman. How terrifying! Was this the true power of the flowing cloud cultivator? When everyone saw this scene, they were extremely shocked. Because the power this time was twice as strong as before. It seemed that young Master Baiyun had not used his full strength before. The black-robed woman snorted. The walking stick in her hand shook slightly, and suddenly, a black ripple spread out like a ripple. The black ripple danced and formed a black light screen, blocking in front of her. Buzz. It blocked the terrifying flowing cloud sleeve. Boom boom boom. The two collided and there was a loud boom. The entire world was shaking. Countless runes lit up in the Sky Treasure Pavilion, protecting all the buildings. The lady boss frowned. Her eyes flickered, but she had no intention to stop it. Seeing that the other party could block the flowing cloud sleeve, young Master Baiyun's face darkened. However, he soon burst out with a bright light. The fan in his hand seemed to have turned into a mountain, and it pressed down. Even the surrounding powerful beings could feel the pressure from this attack. Clearly, this was an extremely terrifying attack that contained an unparalleled amount of power. Boom boom boom. The mysterious black-robed woman did not raise her head. However, a spatial crack appeared behind her. It grew bigger and bigger, as if it was torn apart by a pair of big hands. Then, a ferocious behemoth poked its head out from the crack. It looked like a butterfly with a horn that was covered with Dao runes. It was terrifying. It did not fully appear. Only a head appeared, but it filled up the entire space in the hall. Everyone was trembling, and the weaker ones were directly pressed to the ground, unable to resist at all. That was because the oppressive might was simply too terrifying. Soon, the horn blocked the huge folding fan in the sky. Not only that, countless black bugs appeared on the ground and flew towards young Master Baiyun. These black bugs were very fast and covered the entire ground in an instant. It seemed to be able to devour everything. Young Master Baiyun's face sank. With a wave of his hand, a terrifying light wave flew out and blocked the insects. At the same time, his expression became extremely ugly. Nanjiang, you're from the southern border's 5 poison sect. What? 5 poison sect? Hearing this, the surrounding people also exclaimed. The southern border was a continent that coexisted with the central continent. They were very far apart. How could someone from the southern border come here? They could not understand. Young Master Baiyun's face turned ugly. No wonder. No wonder the other party dared to disrespect him and even attack him. It turned out that the other party was not from the Nine Li dynasty. In fact, they were not even from the central continent. The 11 or 12-year-old girl swallowed a few pills to suppress her injuries and walked over. She stood beside the black-robed man and snorted coldly. I happen to be here at this time. You think I'm a pushover, so you want to take advantage of me. Although I don't know which family you are from, your ability to bully the weak and fear the strong is really good. Lin Xian sneered. Unfortunately, I'm not someone you can provoke. So, disappear in front of me obediently. Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state. Arrogant. So arrogant. How dare you threaten young Master White Cloud? Chapter 2292. They realized that the young man in front of them was very smart. Not only did he figure out the whole thing, he even dared to threaten young Master Bai Yun. Who exactly was he? Was he really an itinerant cultivator? They did not believe it. They had never seen an itinerant cultivator so arrogant. Kid, you're courting death. Young Master Bai Yun was trembling with anger. His face was terrifyingly gloomy. The killing intent on his body quickly condensed and pierced through the void. However, Lin Xian ignored him. Instead, he shifted his gaze away from him and looked at the two figures at the door. One was a mysterious man in a black robe with a little girl beside him. The other was a monk with Buddhist beads in his hand. The aura on their bodies was very strong. One look and anyone could tell that they were experts. Then, Lin Xian said coldly, "The two of you better not have any ideas about me. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences." The surrounding kings were completely stunned. This brat was simply too arrogant. First, he provoked young Master Bai Yun. Now, he was provoking the experts of Southern Border and Western Desert. What was he trying to do? Was he trying to declare war on everyone? The two experts were also taken aback. Then both of them laughed. "Is that so? But I still think that it's better to kill you. After all, you don't have any family behind you. Killing you will not be a burden at all. Monks are not willing to kill, but I hope that you can cooperate and give up your Eastwater courtyard." Hearing this, young Master Bai Yun laughed. He wanted to see how this kid would deal with it. At the thought of this, his lips curled into a cold smile. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. "What do you mean? Are the two of you going to attack me?" Indeed, that was the intention. The black-robed man said in a low voice again. The voice condensed in the air. Before it landed, Lin Xian's figure had already disappeared. When he reappeared, he was in front of the black-robed man. The ancient sword in his hand slashed down. Boom! The black-robed man's pupils constricted and he raised his head for the first time. He realized that Lin Xian was too fast. Before he could even react, Lin Xian had already attacked. The sword had not yet arrived, but the sharp aura had already caused all the hairs on his body to stand on end. Even the black aura on his body was cut open. The black-robed man quickly retreated, and countless black gas formed a black light shield in front of him. Boom! The Dragon Source ancient sword slashed down on the surface, emitting a sky-shaking sound. A single slash. The black shield was split in half. The sharp sword light flew out once again. The black-robed old man retreated until he was completely out of the heavenly treasure pavilion. Only then did he manage to block the sword light. The mysterious man was repelled. When everyone saw this scene, they were extremely shocked. This mysterious person was extremely terrifying. Previously, when he fought with young Master Bai Yun, he did not even move an inch. But now, he was scared off by a single slash from the young man before him. This was simply too shocking. However, what shocked them even more was yet to come. This was because Lin Xian had repelled the black-robed man with a single slash of his sword. Following which, he swept his sword horizontally and slashed at the monk beside him. Since these two people wanted to make a move on him, then he had to gain the initiative by striking first and intimidate these two powerhouses. Seeing Lin Xian attack him, the Western Desert cultivator roared in anger. His eyes shone brightly as his aura suddenly erupted. A golden Buddha light rushed out from his body. Boom! In the next moment, it collided with the terrifying sword Qi. When the two collided, countless cracks appeared in the void as if black snakes were dancing wildly in the air. Buzz. As expected, with the unpredictable speed of the white cloud domain, young Master Bai Yun appeared beside Lin Xian in an instant. His right hand was hazy and illusory, and white runes shone on it. Firmament palm. This palm was extremely shocking. It was clearly just a palm, but what it emitted was endless clouds that covered the entire sky. Oh no, this firmament palm was also young Master Bai Yun's ultimate skill. Now that he had used his full strength, the kid would definitely not be able to resist. Yes, young Master Bai Yun was extremely frightening. Coupled with his king domain, even the almighties of the older generation would not be his match. Below, Those who were looking at the battle discussed animatedly. The eyes of the experts from the western desert and southern frontier flickered. In the clouds, Lin Xian snorted. Buzz. He pulled out the ancient dragon abyss sword, and the biting cold sword light lit up the entire sky. Thousands of swords rang in unison, and countless sword chi pierced through the white cloud domain. Buzz. 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 The sky was filled with light, and a terrifying killing intent pierced through the void. Sensing this scene, all the princes below began to tremble, and their eyes were filled with fear. At this moment, Lin Xian waved his ancient sword, and thousands of sword chi accompanied the ancient sword as it slashed down. Boom! Countless sword chi instantly split open the white cloud domain, and quickly enveloped young Master Bai Yun. What? This is impossible! Young Master Bai Yun was in disbelief. His opponent actually split open his domain with a single sword strike? He broke through his firmament palm? Impossible! Even the almighties of the older generation could not do it easily, so how could his opponent do it? Young Master Bai Yun was in disbelief. However, the sword light in the sky emitted an aura that made his body tremble. Even his muscles were torn, and countless wounds appeared. Damn it! Young Master Bai Yun's face changed, and he did not dare to resist. He turned into countless white clouds and merged into the void, trying to escape the attack of the sword chi. However, he could not escape. At this moment, the sky was filled with sword chi, and countless sword lights were extremely sharp. These sword chi contained the power of the great dragon sword soul, and it could pierce through the void and destroy the void. Therefore, even though young Master White Cloud's body movement technique was strange and unpredictable, he was still able to come and go like a ghost. But he was still injured. 73 sword wounds appeared on his body in an instant, and blood instantly dyed his body red. What? Young Master Bai Yun was injured. Down below, the kings were extremely shocked when they saw this scene. They didn't dare to believe it at all. That was young Master Bai Yun. It was incomparably terrifying. Furthermore, the other party's white cloud domain, coupled with that strange movement technique, even if he couldn't win, it wouldn't be a problem for him to escape. But what was the situation now? Chapter 2295. Lin Xian ignored them and walked into the Sky Treasure Pavilion. Then, he said, "Lady Boss, send the dishes to my East Water courtyard." "All right, young master." The lady boss smiled. Her mood was not affected by what had just happened. Lin Xian had left, but the entire Qianshan city was in an uproar. Especially the people from the Sky Treasure Pavilion. They fled frantically and spread the news. That was because they were the main witnesses. In an instant, the entire Qianshan city knew that a peerless demon was living in the Sky Treasure Pavilion. He was so terrifying that he even dared to kill young Master Bai Yun and the people from the city governor's mansion. No one dared to provoke him. However, while ordinary kings did not dare to provoke them, the city lord's mansion was incomparably furious. Young Master Bai Yun was killed in their territory. They could not believe it. One had to know that he was the young master of the White Cloud Mansion, the son of General Bai Yun. General Bai Yun was at the peak of his power in the Nine Li dynasty. Whoever killed his son would be committing a heinous crime. No one would be able to escape. Oh no, something big has happened. Hurry up and capture that person. I want to send him to the White Cloud Mansion personally. The city governor of Qianshan City gave the order. Buzz. Soon, 5 top almighties from the city governor's mansion moved out. At the same time, there were 10 elite almighties. 15 powerful figures instantly disappeared into the sky like shooting stars. Sky Treasure Pavilion, East Water Courtyard. Not long after Lin Xian returned, Murong Qingqing also woke up. Soon, a maid served exquisite dishes and spiritual wine. The two of them chatted as they ate. The atmosphere was very warm. However, halfway through the meal, an enormous pressure suddenly enveloped the entire Heavenly Treasure Pavilion. More than 10 figures descended upon the Heavenly Treasure Pavilion like demons and gods, causing the space below to distort due to the pressure. What happened? In an instant, all the martial artists in the Sky Treasure Pavilion trembled. Countless people in Qianshan City looked over. Damn brat, come out. How dare you kill young Master Bai Yun? Today is the day you die. A cold voice was heard, causing everyone's scalp to tingle. What? The experts from the city governor's mansion are here. They came so quickly. That brat is definitely dead. That's right, he dared to kill young Master Bai Yun for the sake of satisfaction, but his end would be miserable. There was no place for him in the entire Nine Li dynasty. He was too young, showing off his bravado, and did not know how to make long-term calculations. Many older generation figures shook their heads and sighed. There were also people who sneered, thinking that the other party was too arrogant. A rogue cultivator dared to challenge the White Cloud Mansion. What a reckless man. In the eastern water courtyard, Murong Qingqing was puzzled. What had happened? Lin Xian, on the other hand, frowned. It's fine. A few people who didn't know what was good for them came looking for trouble with me, so I chopped them into pieces. Are they from the Tai Yi dynasty? Murong Qingqing was a little nervous. If the army of the Tai Yi dynasty came, Lin Xian would be in danger. Lin Xian smiled. No, it's just the city lord's mansion. As he spoke, he rubbed Murong Qingqing's hair and smiled. You eat first, I'll go out and get rid of these flies. In the next moment, he disappeared into the void. 15 figures, each of them extremely powerful, stood in the void, causing everyone to hold their breaths and tremble. The lady boss of Sky Treasure Pavilion's face also darkened. Just as she was about to do something, suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed across the void and appeared in the sky. What? It's that kid. He still dares to come out? If I were him, I would definitely run away immediately. What an idiotic kid. Let's see how he's going to die this time. Not necessarily. That guy is a top genius and is extremely powerful. Who knows, he might create a miracle. What kind of miracle can he create? Those are 5 top mighty figures and 10 elite mighty figures. Unless he's a peerless mighty figure, there's no way he can survive. Do you think a young man in his 20s can be a peerless mighty figure? Who do you think he is? A prince of the dynasty or a saint of a sacred ground? The monk from the western desert and the black-robed man from southern border also appeared. The two of them looked up at the void with deep eyes. They wondered if the kid could fight them. The two of them whispered to themselves. In the sky, 15 godlike figures instantly locked onto Lin Xian. You're the culprit? The green-robed old man in the lead asked coldly. Lin Xian looked at the dozen or so people and sneered in disdain. Are you here to die? You're courting death. The green-robed old man roared, and his eyes instantly turned into 2 green moons, emitting a terrifying light. Buzz. 2 green eyes flew out and slashed towards Lin Xian. Buzz. In the sky, a green crescent moon appeared. Like a treasure wheel, it came crashing down. The void was sliced into 2 in an instant. How terrifying! That was the Green Moon Monarch of the City Lord Mansion. He was a top mighty figure. That was the Green Moon Divine Eye. Legend had it that it could destroy everything. Below, in Qianshan City, all the martial artists were discussing. Countless cracks appeared in the space around Lin Xian in an instant. The terrifying energy was able to crush everything. Lin Xian frowned and snorted. The dragon sword's spiritual domain turned into a green dragon and waved its tail in the sky. Then, the sky shone like thousands of sword chi, so bright that people couldn't open their eyes. Boom! Dragon! That was a dragon! Countless people exclaimed. However, the pupils of the older generation experts also shrank. No, that wasn't a dragon. That was his domain. Heavens, he actually used a dragon as his spiritual domain. Where did this kid come from? As soon as the dragon sword's spiritual domain appeared, it looked like it was looking down on the world. He turned into a terrifying giant sword and scattered from the sky. Boom! An earth-shattering sound was heard, and the green moon was cut in half. Looking at this scene, the 15 experts in the sky changed their expressions. What kind of combat power was that? Could it be that this kid was more powerful than a top mighty figure? Who exactly was he? They couldn't figure it out. On the other side, Lin Xian stood in the void like a dragon god. There was a giant dragon coiled around his body. With a flash, Lin Xian stepped on the dragon shadow and rushed over. Buzz. His palm reached out and grabbed downwards. Like a ferocious dragon head, it swallowed the old man in green. Damn it! Get lost! The old man in green roared, and the green light in his eyes burst out, turning into rays of divine light that slashed over. Countless rays of red light bombarded the green dragon hand, but it couldn't be damaged at all. This green dragon hand contained countless sword chi, and it was very hard and sharp. In an instant, it grabbed the old man in green. Boom! Lin Xian waved his arm, grabbed the old man in green, and blasted him into the void. With a boom, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. A black hole appeared in the void, and countless cracks spread out like a black river. The old man in green seemed to have been struck by lightning, and more than half of his bones were broken. He vomited a large mouthful of blood and was seriously injured. "Ah, damn kid! How dare you hurt me? I'm going to kill you!" The old man in green was caught and roared crazily. Chapter 2296. The 14 powerhouses quickly charged over. In an instant, they appeared in all directions around Lin Xian. With a furious roar, a terrifying divine ability bloomed in the sky. In an instant, the place where Lin Xian was completely submerged. Was it over? Below, all the martial artists looked at the sky in shock. Under such a powerful attack, even a pinnacle powerhouse couldn't survive, let alone a young kid. Boom! However, just as they finished speaking, an earth-shattering sound was heard. Immediately after, a sword light that was 10,000 meters long descended from the sky and slashed all the energy storms apart. Then Lin Xian walked out. What? He came out? How was that possible? He was actually unharmed. These people were stunned. The 14 top powerhouses were actually unable to cause any harm to him. Who was he? Everyone couldn't believe it. What made them even more shocked was that Lin Xian was holding a head in his hand. Heavens, was that the head of the Green Moon Monarch? A pinnacle powerhouse was actually killed mercilessly in the hands of the other party without any ability to fight back at all. The other party's strength definitely surpassed that of a pinnacle powerhouse. In the surroundings, the 14 top powerhouses were also extremely shocked. Damn it, that's impossible. Chain attack. Kill him. Don't hold back. Boom. Boom. In an instant, a sky full of divine abilities appeared again and enveloped Lin Xian. The sky was instantly blasted apart. Nothing could be left behind. In the sky, a huge light wave spread out in all directions. The martial artists in the city were directly pressed to the ground by the energy. Buzz. Lin Xian pulled out the ancient dragon abyss sword and swung it, using the chaotic sky destroyer sword. Boom. 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 Terrifying sword chi swept out and repelled the 14 powerhouses. Then he used Sky Destroyer, Battle Song, and Demonic Madness. It enveloped the front. The bodies of the 3 elite almighties exploded. 6 elite powerhouses were severely injured. The rest were terrified and frantically retreated. Demon! He was a demon! Everyone was shocked. The other party was too powerful, so powerful that it made them despair. However, this only confirmed their suspicions. They must kill this kid. Bush, bush. The 4 pinnacle almighties roared angrily. They quickly swallowed the purple pills, and the energy in their bodies suddenly erupted. The remaining elite and powerful beings joined hands to form a formation. Like the Milky Way, they rushed over. Raging waves. One of the pinnacle mighty beings had long hair fluttering in the wind as he raised the saber in his hands and slashed out. That shocking saber light was like a wave, erupting with an incomparable roar, swallowing mountains and rivers. Another top-tier being appeared behind Lin Xian. He waved his hand, and a terrifying heaven-devouring rat appeared, seeming to be able to devour the entire sky. Gulpik. To the left of Lin Xian, a pinnacle mighty figure appeared. He held a golden pagoda in his hand and quickly activated it. In an instant, 7 golden mountains appeared in the sky and came crashing down. Each of them was like an ancient demonic mountain, incomparably heavy. To the right of Lin Xian, an old man in a golden robe appeared. Golden flames burned all over his body, and the terrifying temperature caused the entire space to distort. Golden ripple. The old man waved his hand, and golden light danced, turning into a golden lotus that charged towards Lin Xian. The four pinnacle experts instantly appeared around Lin Xian. They used their most powerful killing moves. The surrounding elite almighties quickly formed a formation, forming a terrifying formation. In the sky, a river of stars flickered, bringing with it dreamy runes. It pressed down and completely enveloped Lin Xian. This was their strongest attack. If they worked together, they could kill each other. Unfortunately, they had found the wrong opponent. The three killer moves of heaven crushing appeared and attacked the pinnacle mighty beings behind and to the left and right. At the same time, a golden rune appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. The pinnacle mighty being in front of him stiffened, and his eyes went blank. Boom boom boom. Four pinnacle mighty beings were killed in an instant. Buzz. The dragon sword domain turned into a divine dragon again, roaring ferociously. The dragon swung its tail and tore apart the river of stars above its head. Those elite mighty beings vomited blood and were sent flying. On Lin Xian's fingertip, the Hell Ice Lotus rapidly expanded. A terrifying energy enveloped everyone. Boom 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 boom. Violent vibrations sounded, and energy surged all over the sky. When everything disappeared, there was nothing left. Only Lin Xian stood in place like a god-fiend. They were all killed. Everyone was stunned. 15 peerless experts couldn't do anything to him. They didn't dare to imagine. For a moment, the entire Thousand Mountain City was silent. Lin Xian's figure flickered, and he returned to the East Water courtyard again. Next, Thousand Mountain City fell into a great shock again. Countless people discussed crazily and made guesses. All kinds of rumors were spreading. At the same time, those powerful families were investigating the other party's identity. The city lord's mansion fell into a solemn atmosphere. They were extremely shocked. They didn't expect the person they were going to deal with to be so terrifying. From the looks of it, he should be a peerless mighty being. Therefore, they didn't plan to interfere. They quickly sent the news to the White Cloud Mansion and let them capture him themselves. After all, a peerless mighty being was a true powerhouse who could suppress a region. Unless they sent a true peerless mighty being, it would be useless no matter how many ordinary mighty beings they sent. Therefore, the city lord's mansion didn't make any more moves. After the warriors of Thousand Mountain City discovered this change, they were even more shocked. What's going on? Has the city lord's mansion regressed? Could it be that this young man was so terrifying? They couldn't believe it. As time passed, they finally stopped talking about Lin Xian. Instead, they talked about another matter. A woman, Yan Ruyu. Because tomorrow was the day when Yan Ruyu would arrive, and it was also young Master Qiansan's birthday. At that time, powerhouses would gather, and geniuses would be as dazzling as the stars. It would definitely be a grand banquet. The next day, as soon as the sun rose, the Moonflower Palace became lively. War chariots stopped at the door, and the ones pulling the chariots were all terrifying monster kings. However, at this moment, they were sitting there very docilely. Figures walked out of the war chariots one after another. Some were mighty and extraordinary, some were graceful, some were young and energetic, and some were old and vigorous. In short, there were all kinds of people. However, without exception, they were all powerhouses and had incomparably noble statuses. In the sky, countless divine red streaks streaked across and then stopped. Spirit boats appeared one after another, and tens of thousands of rays of light shone down. Countless figures descended. On the other hand, immortal cranes danced. The huge immortal cranes were 1,000 meters long. When they spread their wings, they brought up clouds and mist that filled the sky as if they were riding the wind and breaking the waves. On the other side, the sky roared like dark clouds rolling over. It was an incomparably black flood dragon. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws. The scales all over its body flickered with a black light. As soon as it appeared, it suppressed the world. Chapter 2297. Five-colored auspicious clouds, golden divine boats, all kinds of birds and beasts, powerful chariots, and spirit boats gathered at the Moonflower Palace. Countless figures walked in. This was a grand occasion. Sky Treasure Pavilion, East Water Garden. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing held hands and left the courtyard. They walked towards the Moonflower Palace. Today, they were going to participate as well. At this moment, the Moonflower Castle was a boiling cauldron of voices. Heads were moving about, forming a dark mass. Fortunately, the Moonflower Palace was big enough to accommodate tens of millions of people without feeling crowded. At the entrance, the warriors of the City Lord's mansion were wearing armor and maintaining order. The cultivators discussed animatedly. They were extremely excited. However, at this moment, a commotion came from behind. A young man walked over in large strides. He was bare-chested and extremely vigorous. His muscles were like dragons, and his black hair fluttered in the wind. He carried a sense of arrogance. Su Hao, I didn't expect him to come too. What? He's Su Hao, the skyscraper? He's very famous among the younger generation. Who else could it be? Everyone was talking about it. The black-haired young man looked disdainfully and ignored everyone. He walked in with large strides. After Su Hao, there were exclamations of surprise. A few young men in white carried long swords on their backs. They flew in the air and looked very confident. People from the 6th prince's mansion. They actually came too. I wonder if the young prince has arrived? Everyone exclaimed in surprise and made way for him. These young men in white had smiles on their faces. They were very confident as they flew into the main hall. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The ground trembled slightly as if thousands of horses were galloping. It made people's scalps tingle. Then they turned their heads and looked behind them. 3 silhouettes walked over. They were tall and sturdy, and their faces were cold and stern. There was no expression on their faces. With every step they took, the ground trembled. One could imagine how terrifying these 3 people were. They were the 3 young masters of the Teng family. They could be said to be peerless prodigies. How many prodigies had come this time? Everyone exclaimed and felt dizzy. But soon, many people trembled and retreated frantically. This caused a vacuum to appear in the originally crowded place. When the 3 young masters of the Teng family saw this, they smiled with satisfaction. But soon they were stunned, because they realized that these people were not in awe of them. Could it be that someone else was coming? In the next moment, the 3 of them stopped in their tracks and turned around to look. 2 silhouettes appeared behind him. It was a very handsome young man in a red robe. Beside him was a woman in purple. She was wearing a veil, so her true appearance could not be seen clearly. However, just by her disposition, one could tell that she was a peerless beauty. The 2 of them walked side by side, hand in hand, like a pair of celestial children. They did not emit any terrifying aura, but the surrounding kings trembled as they looked at each other, their faces pale. Seeing this scene, the 3 young masters of the Teng clan frowned. Where did these 2 people come from? Why were they so frightening? They did not know what had happened 2 days ago, nor did they know that Lin Xian had killed 15 peerless experts. He even killed young Master White Cloud in a domineering manner. If they had known, they wouldn't have taken action. He had never seen this unfamiliar-looking kid before. He should be someone who had just started roaming the Jianghu. Which clan is he from? The eldest young master of the Teng clan narrowed his eyes, but the second young master of the Teng clan smiled evilly. Who cares which clan he's from, but the woman beside him is really a beauty. I haven't seen such a beautiful woman in a long time. I must get her. Second brother, don't act rashly. Judging from the expressions of the surrounding people, he's definitely not simple. So what? The second young master of the Teng clan laughed. Could it be that he's more powerful than the 3 of us? Don't worry, big brother. Yes, big brother. The third young master of the Teng clan also laughed. At most, we'll investigate his identity first, then think of a way to make a move. If we can't get this beauty, second brother probably won't be able to sleep tonight. The 3 of them discussed there. The second young master's eyes were shining as he stared at Murong Qingqing. The surrounding people were also looking at Murong Qingqing because she was just too beautiful. They even suspected that the other party was the legendary beauty, Yan Ruyu. However, they knew that she should not be Yan Ruyu. This was because Yan Ruyu would not walk together with Lin Xian. Beautiful, she's too beautiful. The second young master of the Teng clan clapped his hands and laughed. He walked forward and blocked Lin Xian and Yan Ruyu's path. Beauty, may I know your name? Where's your master? The second young master of the Teng clan smiled and greeted her. Murong Qingqing did not say anything, but she frowned. Lin Xian scoffed, "Get lost or I'll dig your eyes out." What? Hearing this, the second young master of the Teng clan's pupils shrunk and his face darkened. How dare he talk to me like that? He's courting death. Nevertheless, the surrounding people were used to it. This was because the other party dared to kill young Master Baiyun. The second young master of the Teng clan was powerful, but he probably would not be taken seriously by the other party. Young fella, do you know who you're talking to? Do you want to die? The second young master of the Teng clan had a cold look in his eyes, and he emitted a terrifying killing intent. The eldest young master and the third young master stood out as well. The three of them were from the same clan, so they were bound together for good or ill. Therefore, they would fight together against the enemy. I'm in a good mood today, so I don't want to kill anyone. However, don't provoke me, or I won't mind sending the three of you on your way. Lin Xian hugged Murong Qingqing and said indifferently, "You're courting death." The second young master of the Teng clan was furious. The eldest young master and the third young master's faces darkened as well, and their eyes were extremely gloomy. Just as the three of them were about to attack, a loud laugh was heard coming from the main hall in front of them. So it's the third young master of the Teng clan. Sorry for the disrespect. Third, why aren't you coming in with me? Another white-clothed young man walked out. Young fella, you're lucky this time. Just you wait, I'll definitely kill you today. The second young master of the Teng clan scoffed. He waved his sleeve and turned to walk in. The eldest and third young masters also looked deeply at Lin Xian before they left. Let's go. Lin Xian held Murong Qingqing's hand, and they walked in together. The surrounding people only dared to move forward after Lin Xian left for a long time. They had no choice as they did not dare to provoke the other party. Moreover, they felt that the three young masters of the Teng clan were going to be unlucky this time because they had offended a formidable person. Do you think the young fella will attack the three young masters of the Teng clan? It's hard to say. It depends on the three young masters of the Teng clan if they want to attack the young fella. If the three young masters really want to attack him, he'll probably end up in a miserable state. That young fella looks like someone who has no scruples and is decisive. If they really fight, the three young masters of the Tong clan will probably end up in a miserable state. Chapter 2298. The people of White Cloud City were probably already rushing over. If he was caught, it would be difficult for that kid to die. Forget it, let's stop discussing. This isn't something we can discuss. Otherwise, if the other party hears us, we won't even be able to live. Let's hurry in. Yes, I've long wanted to see who that Yen Ryu is. Now that you mention it, I'm excited too. Let's go. The group stopped discussing and entered the hall in front of them. The Moonflower Palace was even more lively inside. There were powerful warriors coming and going. At this moment, there were groups of 3 and 10 people in groups. Those who knew each other gathered together to chat and drink. Even if they didn't know each other, they had heard of each other's reputation in the same dynasty. At this moment, they also smiled and greeted each other. Of course, there were also people who were hostile. After all, there were many young geniuses here, and no one was willing to submit to each other. There were even intense sparks colliding. However, no one made a move here. The Moonflower Palace did not allow people to fight inside. If they wanted to fight, they could, but they would be kicked out. The Moonflower Palace did not belong to Thousand Mountain City, nor did it belong to the Nine Li Dynasty. It was a very mysterious organization. No one knew who was standing behind them, but everyone knew that the Moonflower Palace was very terrifying and must not be provoked. Because there were once 5 top mighty figures who caused trouble here. In the end, the next day, the corpses of these 5 top mighty figures were hung on the city wall. These 5 mighty figures were not injured, but their eyes were wide open as if they had encountered something terrifying before they died. Ever since that incident, no one dared to cause trouble here. After Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing entered, they also looked around. They did not look for anyone, nor did they intend to exchange pleasantries with others. The 2 of them came only to silently inquire about the news and see if anyone was talking about the nest of 10,000 dragons. Junior sister, you guys are here too. At this moment, a delicate voice sounded. Murong Qingqing and Ling Xian turned around and saw Zhao Zhiruo walking over slowly from behind with surprise in her eyes. Senior sister, you're here too. Murong Qingqing was also surprised. Lin Xian nodded slightly and greeted them. Zhao Zhiruo walked up. She looked at Lin Xian, rolled her eyes, and coldly snorted. Do you know that you almost caused the extinction of my Zhao family? What happened? Murong Qingqing was nervous, while Lin Xian frowned. The people of the Tai Yi dynasty were here? You also know why you hid your identity? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Lin Xian looked apologetic. After all, she was Murong Qingqing's senior sister. He said, I hid my identity to avoid those people. It's just that I didn't expect them to come knocking on my door so soon. However, didn't I remind you that the Zhao family had nothing to do with me? Could it be that they had made a move? Draw a line between them? How could he clear his name? Everyone in Stellar Sky City has seen that you're staying in our Zhao clan, but they don't know. Zhao Zhiruo snorted coldly, but then she shook her head and didn't make a move. For some reason, they retreated. And from the looks of it, they seemed to have let the Zhao family go. That's good. Murong Qingqing heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian asked, where are they? Have they come to Qianshan City? I don't know. Even if they don't come now, they will come soon. That was because there were simply too many experts from the Nine Li dynasty. Moreover, they had connections with the Nine Li dynasty. They will probably use the Nine Li dynasty's intelligence network to lock onto your location. You're pretty bold, aren't you? You actually dared to swagger around here. How dare you show up at such a gathering? Don't you know that this gathering is for the top geniuses and people from great clans from all over the Nine Li dynasty? If they recognize you, you won't be able to leave. Don't worry. They don't dare to provoke me now. Lin Xian shrugged. Zhao Zhiruo was confused. Why are you so confident? Murong Qingqing smiled. Indeed, he had just killed young Master Bai Yun 2 days ago. These disciples wouldn't dare to do anything to him. What? He killed again. He even killed young Master Bai Yun. Zhao Zhiruo felt dizzy. She knew about young Master Bai Yun. He was famous and could do whatever he wanted in the Nine Li dynasty. As long as he didn't provoke those princes, no one would dare to touch him. But now, this kid in front of her killed young Master Bai Yun. What do you want to do this time? What else did you do? Zhao Zhuo's mouth twitched. She had to get to the bottom of this. Otherwise, her heart wouldn't be able to take it. Other than killing young Master Bai Yun, I killed more than 10 experts from the city lord residence. Other than that, I didn't do anything else. You can't blame me. They were too arrogant. They wanted my life. I could only take action. What? You even killed experts from the city lord residence. Zhao Zhirua exclaimed, which attracted the attention of the surrounding people. The surrounding people were terrified, while the warriors from other cities in the distance were puzzled. Who is this kid? Is he crazy? What nonsense is he talking about? They didn't believe what Lin Xian said. But fortunately, the Moonflower Palace was very big. So at this moment, not many people noticed Lin Xian. Because there were too many people. There were tens of millions of martial artists here. Junior sister, I think you should stay away from this guy. Zhao Zhuo's mouth twitched. Murong Qingqing smiled. Don't worry, senior sister. I know what I'm doing. You call that knowing what I'm doing? He offended 2 dynasties. Zhao Zhirua went crazy. Lin Xian shrugged helplessly. Brother Long, at this moment, another voice was heard. Then Lin Xian and the other 2 turned around. Behind him, a beautiful young lady was running towards him happily. Then, she jumped into Lin Xian's arms. Seeing this scene, Zhao Zhirua was stunned. Junior sister, this guy is too dishonest. He actually dares to interact with other girls in front of you? You can endure this? Zhao Zhirua's face turned black. Murong Qingqing was much calmer. She said indifferently. Brother Xian is a peerless genius. It's normal for many girls to like him. This means that I have good taste. All right, I really don't know what you peerless geniuses are thinking. All of you are freaks. Zhao Zhirua shook her head helplessly. In front, Lin Xian also pushed away the beauty in his arms. Then he smiled. Little girl, why are you here? Brother Long, long time no see. In front, another tall figure walked over. Brother Xiao. Lin Xian smiled and greeted the other party. This tall figure was precisely Xiao Kuang. Previously, in Wanrun City, Lin Xian and the other party had killed a powerful demon king together. The beauty in front of him was Xiao Ling. At this moment, Xiao Ling raised her face and shook Lin Xian's arm. Brother Long, when did you come? Why didn't you come to find me? Chapter 2299. At the side, everyone was shocked when they saw this scene. The cultivators of Qianshan City felt their scalps go numb. The foreign cultivators were even more shocked. Who was this person? He actually knew the little princess of the Xiao family? They knew the origins of Xiaoling and Xiaoquang. They were from the Hong sect. The Hong sect was very powerful and spread throughout the entire Qianshan region. It could be said that it was a very huge force. Therefore, Xiaoling naturally became the little princess of the Qianshan region. Her status could be said to be very noble. Compared to young Master Qianshan of the City Lord's mansion and young Master Bai Yun who was killed previously, she was not inferior at all. It could be said that she was the dream target of countless young geniuses. However, at this moment, they were somewhat stunned. Because Xiaoling was so enthusiastic towards an unfamiliar young man. She even threw herself into his arms. What was the relationship between the two of them? Could it be that they were lovers? However, wasn't this brat already together with a peerless beauty? He could actually hug her left and right. These people were shocked. Many people looked at Lin Xian with unfriendly expressions. After all, Xiaoling was also one of their pursuers. Sister Qingqing. In front, Xiaoling also cheered and ran to Murong Qingqing's side. Lin Xian and Xiaoquang walked to the side to drink and chat. Around them, many peerless geniuses and young masters of large families walked over, wanting to strike up a conversation with Xiaoling, Murong Qingqing, and Zhao Zhirua. After all, these were three peerless beauties. However, they were all blocked by the three of them. In the distance, a cry of surprise suddenly came, followed by countless people. That voice was so loud that Lin Xian and the others turned their heads to look. In front of them, countless people were gathering there. A crystal platform rose, and a beautiful figure walked out from it. The woman's white clothes and black hair fluttered in the wind. Her eyes were incomparably clear, and her entire body emitted an immortal aura. She was indeed beautiful. Even Zhao Zhirua, Murong Qingqing, and the others were all amazed. Lin Xian looked at her in shock. His pupils even constricted. The wine glass in his hand suddenly shattered, and the wine spilled all over the ground. Seeing this scene, Xiaoquang was puzzled. He asked, "Brother Long, what's wrong?" Murong Qingqing, Zhao Zhirua, and Xiaoling were also surprised. Among them, Murong Qingqing was full of worry, but Zhao Zhirua snorted coldly. This guy, could it be that he got excited because he saw a beauty? Nonsense, Brother Long wouldn't be like this. Xiaoling snorted lightly. Murong Qingqing also frowned. This was because she had never seen Lin Xian act so abnormally before. What's going on? Could it be that older brother Xian and this Yen Ryu know each other? Lin Xian was stunned because he did not recognize the white figure in front of him. However, he knew him and was extremely familiar with him. However, he did not understand why the other party was called Yen Ryu. This is Zhao Shui. When did it become Yen Ryu? To be honest, he was extremely shocked. He realized that Zhao Shui's entire body was mysterious. When he first met her, she was running for her life. After that, the two of them spent some time together and separated. When they met for the second time, Zhao Shui became incomparably cold, as if she did not recognize him. Furthermore, her strength had undergone an earth-shattering change, and she even learned the ancient divine ability, Void Sky Eyes. This made Lin Xian even more shocked. However, the two of them spent some time together and then left. After that, Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing, Xinjing Qiu, and the others came to the eastern wasteland and left the Tianwu continent. Lin Xian did not know whether Zhao Shui had left or not. He even thought that he would never see her again in this lifetime. However, he did not expect that she would also come. Not only that, but she also appeared here. However, this time, Zhao Shui was even more mysterious. Even her name was changed. Was she Zhao Shui or not? Or was it just that they looked very similar? Even Lin Xian was extremely puzzled. However, he did not believe that he had misjudged her, especially after he obtained the heavenly secret divine eyes. It was even more impossible for him to be wrong. Perhaps she had no choice but to do so, Lin Xian thought. He had a fortuitous encounter in these years, And so did she. Perhaps there was some unforeseen event that forced Zhao Shui to change her name to Yan Ruyu. However, no matter what, Lin Xian wanted to meet her and have a good chat. Kid, be careful. She might not be the Zhao Shui you know anymore. At this moment, the dark red divine dragon also transmitted its voice. Lin Xian frowned and asked, "What do you mean?" The dark red divine dragon said, "I can sense a demonic aura from her body, and she also has a pure bloodline power. She is definitely a terrifying demon king. She might even be an extremely precious mutated species. Kid, be careful. She might have been possessed by some old monster." What? Hearing this, Lin Xian's eyes darkened, and a terrifying aura emerged from his body. However, at this moment, the dark red divine dragon said again, "Not necessarily. Perhaps she is a demon herself. No, I have to find her and ask her clearly." Lin Xian decided that he had to meet Zhao Shui. However, now was not the right time. He planned to meet her alone after the banquet. After Yan Ryu came out, a few more figures walked out. A handsome young man in green clothes, who should be young Master Qianshan. As soon as he appeared, he was surrounded by countless people, like stars surrounding the moon. Those standing around him were all peerless geniuses, people of status and strength. Ordinary people could not blend in. Yan Ryu was also invited to the side by young Master Qianshan and the others to taste wine. The others could only watch from afar, but even so, they felt that this trip was not in vain. That was because Yan Ryu was too beautiful. Lin Xian retracted his gaze and wiped the wine on his hands. He picked up a wine glass from the table again and took a deep breath. He tried hard to recover his emotions, and his gaze finally returned to normal. He drank with Xiao Kuang again. However, at this moment, four beauties walked over from the crowd. The person in the lead, wearing a palace robe, came in front of Lin Xian with a smile, then bowed slightly. "Are you young Master Lin?" "I am. For you." Lin Xian looked at her. "Our master invites young Master Lin over." "Your master? Who are you people?" Lin Xian frowned. Could it be that Zhao Shui had discovered him? Lin Xian was not sure. Of course, he could not rule out the possibility that this was a trap. Perhaps someone wanted to deal with him and lure him away. Therefore he had to ask clearly. "We are from the Moonflower Palace, so our master is naturally the master of the Moonflower Palace." The beautiful woman in palace attire smiled. "What? The master of the Moonflower Palace?" Hearing this, Lin Xian was extremely surprised. Not only him, but Zhao Zhirua, Xiao Kuang, and the others were also surprised. The surrounding King Realm Almighties also exclaimed in surprise. The Moonflower Illusion Palace was extremely mysterious. No one knew who was standing behind them. In the past, many powerful forces and families wanted to investigate. However, they all returned empty-handed. But now, to think that this mysterious master would invite Lin Xian over. Chapter 2300. This mysterious master actually wanted to invite Lin Xian. What was going on? Could it be that they knew each other? Everyone was extremely shocked, and the warriors of Qianshan City also came to a realization. They had said that Lin Xian couldn't be a rogue cultivator. Otherwise, how could he be so powerful? He even knew the master of the Moonflower Palace. This was something that ordinary people couldn't do. Who is your master? Lin Xian also frowned and asked. He didn't know the master of the Moonflower Palace? Young Master Lin would naturally know if he went there himself. The woman in red smiled and then said, "Why, young Master Lin doesn't dare? What's there to be afraid of?" Lin Xian put down his wine cup and said, "Brother Xiao, I'll go." "All right." Xiao Kuang nodded. "Or, you can come and find me directly." Came to Murong
At this
Qingqing's
point,
side. The sound of running water could be heard from the room.
Sister Zhiruo
Hearing
and the
this
others
sound,
first.
Lin
I'll be
Xian
back
narrowed his
soon.
eyes. "Be careful. Beauty trap." Murong Qingqing
He wanted
said
to
with
see what the
concern.
other party was
Lin
up to.
Xian nodded
So
and
he
then
stepped
left with the
forward
four
and
women
walked
in
towards
palace
the sound of
running water. Lin Xian
Sure
followed
enough,
behind the woman
the
in
door in
red
front
and
of him
walked
was
towards
half
the
open,
depths of the
and the
Moonflower
sound of
Palace.
running water came
Soon,
from inside.
They arrived at a
There was
formation.
also mist,
The group
and
of
a
people
figure could
entered
be
the
vaguely
formation
seen.
and disappeared with
Young
a flash
master,
of light.
come and have a cup
In
of
an
tea.
instant, Lin
However,
Xian
at
and
this
the others
moment,
appeared
a
in another
coquettish
place.
voice came from the
Lin
living
Xian
room
looked
again.
around and
This
realized
voice
that
was
they should
exactly
still
the
be
same
in the
as
Moonflower
before.
Palace.
Obviously,
They hadn't
it
left,
was from the
so
same
he felt
person.
a lot more
However,
at ease. Lin
not
Xian was
long
shocked
after,
again. They teleported
what's going
again.
on?
After
Wasn't
a
she
total
taking a
of
bath
3
inside?
teleportations,
Why
they
did she
arrived
suddenly
at a very
come to the
quiet
living room?
place.
Other
In the
than
next
them,
moment,
there
he
was
waved
no
his
one else
sleeve,
around,
and the door
it
couldn't
seemed
be
that
opened.
this should be the core
Mist
area
filled
of
the
the
room,
Moonflower
but there was
Palace.
no one inside.
In front,
The
Lin
four
Xian's
beauties
eyes
in
flickered.
red stopped in their
Although
tracks.
he didn't activate
They
the
bowed
heavenly
respectfully
secret
and
divine
said,
eyes,
"Young
with
Master
his soul
Lin,
force,
please." Even a peerless
Xian
almighty
nodded,
couldn't do
pushed
anything
open the
to
door
him.
and walked in.
However, the four
The
women
current
in red
situation
closed
was
the door
really
behind
beyond
him
his
and quickly
expectations.
used the formation
Therefore,
to leave. In the next
the
moment,
inside
his
was
body
very
swayed,
big and the
he
decorations
used
were
the
very
demigods and
exquisite.
semi-devils
However,
to instantly
there was no
appear
one.
in the living room.
Seeing this
There
scene,
was indeed
Lin
a
Xian
figure
frowned.
in the living room.
What was going on?
It was a woman.
Didn't someone
She
want
was
to
sitting
see him?
there with a bathrobe
Why is there no
wrapped
one
around
here?
her body, and her hair
Thinking
was
of
wet.
this,
He narrowed his
obviously,
eyes
she had just
and
taken
released
a
his
bath.
soul power.
However,
although this
how
room
that
was very
possible?
large
How
and there
did
were
she come
many
out?
rooms,
How
Lin
could she
Xian's
hide
soul
from
force
Lin
was
Xian's
extremely
perception?
strong.
In
In
the
the blink of an
skin was
eye,
snow
he had
white,
covered
and there
the
was a
entire
fragrance
area
on her body.
However,
In
his
addition to
frown
the scene,
deepened. She was
because he didn't
infinitely
sense
seductive.
anyone.
However,
Was there really no
Lin
one?
Xian wasn't in the
Lin
mood to
Xian
care
was
about
stunned.
that.
He
He
thought
asked
that someone was
coldly,
somewhere
"Who
else.
are you?" But his soul
The
force
woman
didn't
raised her
detect
head.
anyone else's
She
aura.
was very beautiful,
Lin Xian
but
felt
Lin
that something
Xian
was
realized
amiss,
that he
so
didn't
he
know
turned
her.
around and
That
left.
made him wary,
Because he
the
suspected
beautiful
that this
woman
might be a
smiled
trap.
as she dried her
Just
hair.
as he turned around
Young
and took
Master
2
Lin,
steps,
don't
a
be so
flirtatious
anxious
voice
after you're
drifted
here.
over. "Sit down and have a cup of tea."
Why are you leaving?
This is
Upon
3,000-year-old
hearing this
oolong
voice,
tea,
Lin
and it
Xian
contains
froze
oolong
and his
blood
pupils
essence.
constricted.
Drinking a
He
cup will
abruptly turned his
definitely
head,
strengthen
and
your
a sharp
physique.
light burst out from
In
his
order
eyes.
to entertain you,
He once
I've
again
even
probed
brought out
with
the
his
best
soul
things.
force.
Sun
Someone's
Chen's
here?
eyes flickered
What's
as he
going on?
stared at her. He was
But
extremely
then
shocked
he sat
because
down
this
with
time
a smile
he
on his
felt
face.
the aura of a human.
All right, I'll play
But
with
this
her.
was impossible.
He wanted to see
He clearly
what tricks
hadn't
she
sensed
had up
it
her
before.
sleeves.
So how
Therefore,
did it appear?
when he thought of that,
he couldn't believe
he sat
it.
down boldly.
One had to know
picked
that
up
his
the
soul
teacup on the
force
table
was even
and took a
stronger
sip.
than that of a
It's
peerless
indeed
almighty.
good tea.
If he couldn't
Lin
detect
Xian
anyone,
nodded in
then it was
satisfaction.
definitely a human.
The beautiful woman
But
was
what's
stunned
going
for a
on?
moment
Could
before
it
she
be that
smiled.
the other party had just
Young Master
teleported
Lin,
in? You're indeed
after
bold.
another round of
However,
observation,
aren't you
he
afraid
realized
that I'll
that there was
poison it?
no
You
teleportation
should know that
array
some
in the
poisons
room.
can even
Who are
kill
you,
an
and why
invincible
did you
king,
ask me to come?
let alone
Lin
an
Xian asked
almighty.
coldly.
Young
Then he
Master
said,
Lin,
"What?
do you think
this
you
how
can
you treat
resist
your
it?
guests?
Hearing
Since
that
you
Lin
asked me to
Xian
come,
smiled.
why don't you come out and meet me? Why do you have to be so sneaky? Young master, you've wronged me. I want to come out too. But to see you, I specially took a bath. But I'm not done yet. Young master came too quickly, so why don't you sit down and wait for a while?"
He had secretly checked it with his heavenly secret god eyes before, and there was no problem. Moreover, he had the great dragon sword soul in his body. Even if it was poisonous, he was confident that he could destroy it. Therefore, he smiled and said, "Seeing that your movement technique is extremely strange, I think you must have a mysterious background. Someone like you wouldn't stoop to poisoning people. Moreover, I'll drink the tea you make even if it's poisonous." Lin Xian then stared at the man's body. The beautiful woman was stunned for a moment before she smiled and said, "Young Master Lin, you're indeed bold. The night is long, let's have fun." Chapter 2301. Lin Xian said with a smile, "Sure, I can't wait any longer." As he said that, he reached out with his palm. He was so fast that it was as if he had passed through the void. In an instant, his palm appeared in front of the beautiful woman. His target was the bath towel on her body. Seeing this, the beautiful woman's expression froze. She did not expect him to be so decisive. But soon, she laughed coquettishly and twisted her body, narrowly dodging the attack. What a strange movement technique. Lin Xian was surprised. The other party's speed was so fast that it did not seem to be any weaker than his demigods and semi-devils. Who is this person? How can he have such an exquisite movement technique? Lin Xian was surprised that the other party had dodged it. However, in the next moment he sped up again. Countless palm shadows in the sky enveloped the woman in an instant. However, the woman's identity was even stranger. She had dodged all of them. Otherwise, her body would have disappeared into the void in an instant and could no longer be seen. Seeing this, Lin Xian probed with his soul spirit. The result shocked him. A similar scene happened again. He could not capture the other party's trace at all. It was as if she had really disappeared. However, how was that possible? He knew that the other party had not disappeared. She had used some kind of movement technique or secret technique to hide. Thinking of this, he snorted coldly. A golden Dao pattern appeared in his eyes as he looked around. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile as he reached behind him. Ah! A cry of surprise came from behind him. A woman's figure appeared. The bath towel on her body had been torn off by Lin Xian. At this moment, the woman was naked. Seeing this, Lin Xian was stunned. The woman, on the other hand, laughed. "What, Mr. Lin, do you want to do something else?" As she spoke, she pounced on Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. With a shake of his sleeve, the bath towel wrapped around the beautiful woman again. The beautiful woman laughed coquettishly. A dagger appeared in her hand, and she slashed at Lin Xian's neck. The dagger shone with a cold light. It was obviously a top-grade treasure. The void was instantly sliced open, and a terrifying crack appeared. Lin Xian felt a biting cold killing intent. His muscles tensed up, and countless sword chi surged out from his body, knocking the dagger away. Sword chi that filled the sky flew out from his body and swept across the heaven and earth. The woman's bathrobe was instantly torn apart. Not only that, a human skin mask fell off her face. Seeing this scene, the woman cried out in alarm. Lin Xian was also extremely shocked. A human skin mask. He did not expect that the other party had actually disguised himself. Furthermore, it was such an ancient method. It should be known that for peak kings like them, if they wanted to change their appearance, it was an extremely simple matter. He only needed to change his bones and muscles. However, if the other party was so strong, why did he still use such a primitive method like a human skin mask? However, what made him even more surprised was that he did not notice that the other party was in disguise. It seemed that this human skin mask was no ordinary mask. "It's you." Lin Xian looked at him and exclaimed, because he realized that he actually knew the person in front of him. Without the human skin mask, the woman revealed an exquisite face. She was also extremely beautiful. Buzz. The woman took out a robe from her storage ring and put it on. Then she knelt on the ground with one knee. "Greetings, Master. Luo Bingshan, it's actually, where have you been all these years?" Lin Xian was extremely shocked. This woman was none other than the top assassin who had come from the Tianwu continent with him, Luo Bingshan. Back then, not long after they had arrived in the eastern wasteland, Murong Qingqing, Shinjingqiu, and Luo Li had been taken away by different people. Among them, Murong Qingqing had gone to the Jade Lake Sacred Ground, and Shinjingqiu had gone to the Purple Dawn Sacred Ground. Luo Bingshan had been taken away by a mysterious person. He did not expect that he would appear again. Moreover, the other party's strength had become so strong. That strange movement technique had shocked him greatly. "Get up. I'm no longer your master. The restrictions on you should have been removed. You don't have to do this." Lin Xian waved his hand, and a force lifted Luo Li up. Luo Bingshan said in a deep voice, "But in my heart, you have always been my master." "Alright, let's not talk about this for now." Lin Xian asked, "Why are you here? How did you become the master of the Moonflower Palace? Also, what kind of movement technique is this? It's so strange that even I can't detect it." "Master, listen to me slowly." Hearing this, Lin Xian smiled. "Don't call me master, change the way you address me. Then I'll call you Brother Xian." Actually, that day, after I was taken away by that mysterious person, I joined an organization. "An organization? What organization?" Lin Xian was curious. Luo Bingshan said, "Regarding our organization, the core secrets cannot be said. There is a restriction in my body. Once I say it, I will be instantly killed. However, I can tell you some basic information. Brother Xian, I don't know if you have heard of the Heavenly Court." "Heavenly Court?" Hearing this, Lin Xian's pupils constricted. How could he not have heard of the Heavenly Court? That was an assassin divine dynasty that was as famous as hell. Moreover, not long ago, he had been assassinated by someone from hell and was almost killed. It could be said that his memory of this assassin divine dynasty was still fresh. Heavenly Court, hell, the world of men, could it be that ancient assassin divine dynasty? Lin Xian asked. That's right, it was the legendary Heavenly Court. Luo Bingshan nodded. Lin Xian was even more surprised. What, the organization you joined, could it be the Heavenly Court? He was extremely shocked. The Heavenly Court was a legendary existence that was even more terrifying than hell. The assassins inside were unparalleled in the world. No wonder the falling ice mountain's movement technique was so exquisite that even he couldn't detect it. Thinking about it, this should be a unique ability of the Heavenly Court's assassins. It was about the same. Luo Bingshan said. However, we are not called Heavenly Court now, but Heaven. Heaven changed its name? Lin Xian frowned. Luo Bingshan explained that the Heavenly Court had been destroyed back then, but there were still some people left behind. These people wanted to rebuild the Heavenly Court, but in the past tens of thousands of years, their opinions had differed. In the end, these people were divided into two factions. One faction became Heaven, and the other faction became the Holy Church. Among them, Heaven inherited the previous assassination legacy of the Heavenly Court and became the top assassin organization. As for the Holy Church, they inherited other legacies. I'm not too sure what they do. I also changed my name. Now, I'm called Luoli. There was actually such a thing. Lin Xian was extremely surprised. He had heard before that the three great assassin divine dynasties had suffered heavy losses. However, among them, the world of men and hell were preserved, while the Heavenly Court was destroyed and became history. He didn't expect that the Heavenly Court was also preserved. However, it split into two factions and formed two new terrifying organizations. One was the new assassin divine dynasty, Heaven. The other was the Holy Church, which seemed very mysterious. Chapter 2302. This Moonflower Castle is a stronghold of our heavenly hall. I'm in charge here. So that's how it is. Lin Xian finally understood. But then he asked again, Luoli, how much do you know about hell? Can you tell me more about it? What's wrong, Brother Xian? Are you interested in hell? Luoli was surprised. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Not long ago, I was assassinated by them. What? Hell had attacked. Luoli was extremely surprised. She didn't expect Hell to assassinate Lin Xian. What surprised her even more was that Lin Xian actually managed to escape. She couldn't believe it. One had to know that Hell was an ancient assassin dynasty, an extremely terrifying existence. Rumor had it that the palace of Hell was filled with countless heads. Many of them were saints and invincible kings. It was a slap to their faces how terrifying
as the
Hell
future
was.
ruler of
However,
Qianshan
she was
City,
surprised
how could
that
young
Lin
Master
Xian was able
Qianshan
to
allow
escape.
this to happen?
I happen to
Therefore,
know a
in his
stronghold
heart,
of Hell.
he had already
and it's in the
sentenced Lin
9 Li
Xian to
dynasty.
death.
However, at this moment,
it should
a
be the
young
people
man
of
at
this
the stronghold who
exclaimed,
did it.
Isn't
But
that
Brother
Xiao
Xian, the people
Why
of
is
Hell
that girl
are
with the Hong
extremely
sect?
terrifying.
Could it be that
Unless
they know
an
each
army
other?
presses down
It's
on
over.
them, they can't be
If she's
destroyed.
really a friend of the Hong
Otherwise,
sect,
it'll
it won't
be
difficult
easy
to
to touch
fight
her
against them.
After all,
I know,
the Hong
don't
sect
worry.
is very
Lin
terrifying.
Xian nodded.
I won't be
So what?
impulsive. Ordinary
But I need to
people
know
might
where
be
they are
afraid
first.
of her, but
I'll
my
settle
big
the
brother
score with them
Qianshan
later.
isn't.
Soon,
A young man at
Luoli
the
told
side
Lin
sneered.
Xian the location
He was
of Hell's
also from the
stronghold.
city lord mansion
After Lin
and was
Xian
young
heard it,
Master
his eyes
Qianshan's
shone
younger
with
brother.
a cold light.
The young man
While
raised
Lin
his head
Xian
and
was
said
chatting with
proudly,
Luoli,
my
on
big
the other
brother
side,
is an
Murong
outstanding
Qingqing
genius
and the
of
others
the
were
Yinyang
surrounded by
sect.
people.
He's
The few
few
of them
standing
standing
there were simply
no
too
matter how
dazzling.
powerful the Hong
Other than
sect
Yen
is,
Ryu,
can they
there was
be
more
Murong
powerful
Qingqing?
than the Yinyang sect.
Some people even
Young
compared
Master
Yen Ryu
Qianshan
and
also
Murong
smiled.
Qingqing and found
He
that they
said
were on par.
indifferently, this
Don't
made them
worry about
even
them.
more shocked and
We can't fight
surprised.
here.
After
After
the
the
banquet
banquet
also
ends,
very
I'll let them
surprised
know
when
the
she discovered
consequences
this
of
situation.
offending the city lord
Yen
mansion.
Ryu was fine.
While the group of
Her
people
face
discussed
was like
animated
autumn
water,
on
and
the
her
other
beautiful
side,
eyes were
Murong Qingqing
incomparably
was
deep.
surrounded by many
The
people.
young geniuses around her were
Suddenly,
extremely
the crowd
surprised.
dispersed, and
There
a
was
young
actually
man
someone
walked
who
over.
could compare to
It was the
Fairy
Tang
Yen.
family's
Who was
second
this
young
person?
master. He was also
unfamiliar.
followed by a few
He shouldn't
young
be from
masters
our
from
9
big
Li
families.
dynasty.
As
Otherwise,
soon as they entered,
we would have known
they
about
pushed
it long
away
ago.
the ordinary kings.
These were all young
the Tang
masters of
family's
large
second
clans.
young master's eyes
They were
flickered
very
as he
clear
looked
about
at the
the
geniuses
Murong
and
Qingqing and the
beauties of the
others.
9 Li dynasty.
When he saw Zhao Zhua
Nothing
and
could
Xiao
escape
Ling,
their eyes.
his eyes also
But
lit
now,
up.
they discovered that they
the corner
actually
of his
didn't know
mouth
each other.
became wider.
The three young
Three
masters of
peerless
the Tang
beauties.
clan also
It
turned
seems
their
like I'm
heads
really
to look.
lucky.
Subsequently,
However, in the end,
Tang
he
family
still
stared
stared
at
young
Murong
Master
Qingqing.
smiled.
Fairy,
He walked over
we
again.
meet again.
Is
The
Brother
Tang
Ting
family's
interested in that
second
girl?
young master
Many
smiled.
people laughed,
Murong
including
Qingqing
the
looked
Tang
at him and
family's
asked
third
coldly,
young master.
"Who are you?"
Yes,
"Don't I know
when
you?"
we were outside,
Ting
second
hurry up
elder
and leave.
brother had already
You're not
noticed
welcome
him.
here.
If he didn't
Xiao Ling
succeed,
or also
second
snorted
brother
coldly.
wouldn't give up. It was obvious
However,
that she
there were
also
also
knew the
people
person
who
in front
frowned.
of her. Wasn't that woman with
isn't
that
this
brat?
little Princess
Brat?
Ling?
Which brat?
I haven't
Why
seen her
is
for
he
a few
famous?
days, and she's
Many
become
people
more
were puzzled.
beautiful.
The young
Tang
man
Kuan's
said,
gaze shifted
of course,
from
he
Murong
was famous.
Qingqing to Xiao Ling
That brat
and
had
looked at her
killed
without
young Master
restraint.
by Yun, and
Xiao
more
Ling
than 10
face
experts
turned
from the
cold
city
when she
lord
saw the
mansion.
scene.
Do you
On
think
the
it's
side,
famous or
Xiao
not?
Kuang shouted coldly,
Young Master
"Watch
by
your dog
Yun was
eyes.
killed?
Do you
Many young
believe that I'll dig
geniuses
them
were
out for you?"
shocked. Because
Try
they
it.
had just arrived
Tang
from
Kuan
another
looked
place,
at him and
they
sneered.
naturally didn't
The
know what
Hong
had
sect
happened.
is powerful,
Young Master
but do you think the
Qianshan
Tang
frowned
family
and a
is
cold
afraid of
look
you?
appeared in his eyes.
Don't forget the
It's them.
status of the Tang family.
The experts from
If you
White
dare
Cloud
to
City
touch me,
are already
I
on their
guarantee
way.
that you'll all
But
die.
as young master
So,
by Yun's good
hurry up
friend,
and get lost.
I won't let the enemy
Don't you
escape.
see that I'm talking
Young
to these
Master
beauties?
Qianshan's body
Hearing
emitted
these arrogant
terrifying
words,
killing
Xiao
intent.
Kuang's face darkened.
Not only did the other
The
party
surrounding
kill young
kings
Master
felt their
by
scalps
Yun,
go numb,
but he also
and a
killed
trace
more
of
than
fear
10
appeared in
experts
their
from the
eyes.
city lord mansion.
This was because
This
they
was a
knew what kind of
provocation to them.
existence the Tang family was.
This was a big family, and it was a very terrifying family. The other party wasn't completely human.
It was a very special existence. It was a half-demon family. The Teng family was born from the combination of the human race and the demon race. However, no one dared to underestimate them. This was because the Teng family's ancestor was an invincible king. An invincible king was an existence even more terrifying than a peerless almighty. He was a top-notch expert. Chapter 2303. Therefore, the Teng family had a special status in the Nine Li dynasty. Almost no one dared to offend them. Even young Master Qianshan, the son of the governor and the genius of the Yinyang sect, had to rope in the three young masters of the Teng family. Therefore, although the Hong sect was powerful, the Teng family was not afraid. Seeing that everyone was shocked, Teng Kun looked at Murong Qingqing again. He grabbed a cup of spirit wine from the servant's tray and handed it to her. "Come on, fairy, I'll treat you to a drink." However, Murong Qingqing did not reach out her hand. Instead, she looked at him coldly. This scene was very awkward, so Teng Kun's face was a little pale. His eyes shone brightly and his voice was very low. "Beauty, you have to think carefully." Behind him, Teng Kun's followers sneered. "That's right. Brother Kun is giving you face by giving you a drink. Do you know that Brother Kun is on the same level as the prince? It's your fortune to be chosen by Brother Kun." Numerous voices sounded out, causing Zhao Zhuo and Xiao Linger's little faces to turn icy cold. Among them, Xiao Linger gritted her teeth. "Damn this guy, he's too despicable. I really want to beat him up. Why isn't Brother Long here? If he's here, I'll teach him a lesson." Zhao Zhirua frowned. This guy doesn't know what's good for him. How dare he threaten junior sister Qingqing? He's courting death. She snorted and was about to reveal Murong Qingqing's true identity. What was the Ting family? So what if they were on the same level as the prince? Their identities were not worth mentioning in front of Murong Qingqing. After all, Murong Qingqing was the saintess of the Jade Lake's sacred ground, the future master of the Jade Lake. Her identity was on par with the crown prince of the imperial family. Apart from the crown prince, only the saints and saintesses of the other sacred grounds were on par with her. Even an ordinary prince would have a lower status in front of Murong Qingqing. Not to mention the Teng family in front of her. Therefore, she wanted to reveal Murong Qingqing's identity to scare these people to death. However, Murong Qingqing shook her head slightly. She did not intend to reveal her identity this time. If she came here as the Jade Lake Saint, she wouldn't have come alone. She would have brought a large number of people with her. The reason why the sect had asked her to come here secretly was to let her gain more experience. Secondly, the Jade Lake Sacred Ground also hoped to secretly investigate the matter of the nest of 10,000 dragons. Therefore, Murong Qingqing stopped her. In the next moment, a smile appeared on her face. Then she reached out with her jade-like hand and caught the wine cup. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned because Murong Qingqing was simply too beautiful when she smiled. Teng Kuan, the Teng family's second young master, was even more proud. If he could obtain such a peerless beauty, he would be incredibly lucky. However, Zhao Zhihua and Xiao Ling were stunned. That's not right. Why did Murong Qingqing agree? While they were in a daze, the situation suddenly changed. Everyone's eyes nearly popped out of their sockets. Teng Kuan's face turned incomparably dark in an instant. This was because after Murong Qingqing took the wine cup, she did not drink it. Instead, she waved her jade-like hand and directly splashed all the spirit wine on Teng Kuan's face. She wants to drink with me? She's not qualified. Puff. Teng Kuan's face was splashed with wine, and he was stunned on the spot. At this moment, not only was Teng Kuan stunned, but everyone was stunned. Zhao Zhihua and Xiao Ling were stunned. All the surrounding King Almighties and the lackeys behind them were also stunned. Then, they burst into shouts like a torrent and screamed one by one. Those lackeys also shouted, "Fuck, Brother Kuan, are you all right?" Teng Kuan's face was also gloomy. The aura on his body suddenly erupted like a divine rainbow as he charged towards Murong Qingqing. Murong Qingqing snorted coldly. Countless rays of light appeared on her body, forming a 5-colored lotus flower that instantly blocked the attack. Crack, crack, crack. The void cracked open, and the terrifying energy caused many to vomit blood. On the side, Xiao Kuang activated his king domain to protect Xiao Ling. Zhao Zhihua's body was also surrounded by light, and a ball of battle armor appeared. It seemed that a great battle was about to break out. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Countless runes lit up in the surroundings, and 8 beautiful women suddenly appeared. The one leading them was the woman in red who invited Lin Xian earlier. As soon as they appeared, they shouted, "Who dares to fight in the Moonflower Castle? Do you want to die?" Hearing this, everyone looked at each other and did not dare to speak. The people in the distance also looked over. Even Yen Ryu and young Master Qianshan stopped talking. Young Master Qianshan looked into the distance and frowned. The surrounding young geniuses were also discussing. Damn, why are they fighting? Someone actually dares to fight with Brother Teng? Does he want to die? When the eldest and third young masters of the Teng family saw this scene, their figures flashed and instantly appeared in front. Second brother. Second brother. The two of them came in front of Teng Kuan. When they saw Teng Kuan's face full of wine, they were both stunned. Then, their bodies emitted an extremely terrifying aura. Why, do you want to fight? Seeing this, the woman in red's face darkened. No matter who you are, if you dare to fight here, you will be punished by the Moonflower Castle. Speaking of this, the aura on the woman in red suddenly became fierce. Not only that, under her feet, terrifying runes flickered and condensed in the air. A terrifying killing formation spread out. It made everyone's hearts tremble. Young Master Kuan, forget it. At this moment, young Master Qianshan also came. Not only him, but Yen Ryu also walked over. The crowd dispersed, and a group of dozens of people rushed over. These people were all young geniuses. the young masters of large clans, and were very terrifying. At this moment, everyone was standing here. Of course, they were all on Teng Kuan's side. Only Xiaoling and Zhao Zhiruo were still standing beside Murong Qingqing. However, Murong Qingqing's expression was indifferent. So what if there were thousands of soldiers and horses? She would not be afraid at all. As the saintess, her strength was unfathomable. Brother Teng, there's no need to fight here. Young Master Qianshan and the others walked over and hurriedly dissuaded him. That was because he was very clear about how terrifying the Moonflower Castle was. Even he did not dare to be presumptuous here. Hearing this, Teng Kuan snorted coldly and put away his terrifying domain. Immediately, the light that filled the sky disappeared. All the King Almighties heaved a sigh of relief. The five-colored lotus in front of Murong Qingqing also quickly rushed into her body and disappeared. When the people from the Moonflower Castle saw this scene, they said coldly, "I'll say it again, no fighting is allowed here. If anyone disobeys, kill without mercy. No matter who you are, the Moonflower Castle is not afraid." After saying that, she ignored Teng Kuan and the others and looked at Murong Qingqing instead. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.